This thing called me on my phone, and I answered, but I'm not sure why.
What? Dude, I totally sent you an invite on Google Plus.
Oh, that's why you sent it to me on Google Plus, and since I'm in one on my computer, it sent it to me to my phone. That's why I'm here. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to put the link in the chat. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, do that. What's up, Dano? Hola. Guess he's not. No? You there? Okay.
How many times this did?
Whoa, what kind of nonsense am I looking at right now?
I wonder if it's going to make me cycle.
Alright, so I've been away from the chat game for about a week or so. Why is everybody having so many problems getting on?
Oh, I don't know. It's a Google thing. It's nothing else. It's actually working tonight. They had a problem with it starting, like, I think Friday. It'd make you cycle.
Yeah, there we go. I think.
Yeah, maybe they still have it. Tonight it's been working for me, so.
How many times did I go in and out?
1, 2, 3 times.
I should have just stayed on my phone. At least there it worked.
Yeah.
I thought it was a phone call, so I answered it, and then I was like, wait a minute, this is not.
And do you see the link to the external chat, the YouTube chat? No, the YouTube video?
Where did
Sending
I
it-
go? That's not.
Yeah.
I'm sending it to him now on
Okay.
gun
And Janice.
channels for personal message.
Yeah, because he doesn't know
Oh,
your
wait, hold
channel on YouTube.
Crap, that was the wrong one. Darn it.
Yep, I found the Glock 22 I'm going to order from CNN. It's $330 plus like $18 shipping, so I need to raise $350. So anybody wants to help me out and do a donation, so I actually have a carry gun, just send a donation to quark71@gmail.com. That's PayPal for us, so every
I'm sorry,
little
What gun are you looking at?
Glock 22, please trade in.
Oh,
$329.99 and like $18 shipping.
dude, you can get like a brand new Canic for that price.
But I'm not going to carry a Canic. I want to carry a gun I know is going to work, and that's a Glock.
I don't know, man. Those Canics, they look to be doing pretty good so far.
Yeah,
Look
but
to be
I
pretty
want
reliable.
something. Yeah, this is going to be a carry gun. I don't get something brand new right off the shelf and start carrying it. If that makes sense. I want a gun that I know is going to work, and Glock's got that going for it, you know, and an inexpensive price point.
Hey, Corp, do you have G-Web's phone number or whatever? Like, you text him that I sent him the actual YouTube link this time instead of the Google Plus link on...
I can send him a text and tell him.
Alright.
I'm sure he knows about it. It just might take him a few seconds to figure it out, but I'll send him a text.
Well, as long as we're live, why don't you go ahead and tell us what it all is?
What?
I said, as long as we're live, why doesn't he go ahead and tell us what that number is?
That number is only for the elite few, Dana.
1-800-BIG-DICK.
It goes back to it's an inside joke for what's the store number.
Yes.
And y'all didn't see the Dano and Girk show this morning?
Nope.
The cooking show? You had to be there.
So it was one of those shows?
I want to keep my gun right, Sarah Thin Blue.
Hooking's a misdemeanor. It doesn't get you... You can still get guns.
And I prefer my freedom.
You're normally out the next day for hooking. They only keep you about 8 hours.
Maybe down there.
Thin Blue, you seem to know a lot about hooking.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me. Stop.
Just looking at all the people on
You're
YouTube.
pretty young and nubile and, like, I don't know, stretchy or something.
If everybody on a gun channel sent me $10, I'd almost be able to afford the gun.
It's like part-time work but full-time money.
You said you didn't get it.
No, I got it.
No, G-Web. So just
Oh.
put the link in the internal here, Weddle, and I'll send it to him.
Mm.
Great.
How long do they keep you up there for hooking, Court?
I have no clue.
I know down here it's never too long. I mean, unless they arrest you 4 times in one night for it, then they kind of get pissed off.
Okay, well, the question's got to be asked, and since you're not a law enforcement officer or in the correction system, how would you know?
Because I did work with the police department for 2 years, so I do know some of the arrests they made on Friday and Saturday nights.
You got paid?
Nothing, but...
Exactly. You
I
volunteered.
mean, I got paid, but it wasn't much. At all.
Jacob, can you put the YouTube link in the internal?
Oh, yeah, I sent it to him on the little pop-up chat just now.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, hopefully he sees that.
Well, he actually messaged me on that with a little question mark, and I sent it to him, and he replied to it.
Okay, so okay, refresh for lobby. We are good to go. I should just raffle off a bunch of knives. $10 a ticket.
Is Dirk asleep?
Nah, man, I'm looking at some amazing shit right here, man.
He's looking at some porn.
Nah, yeah, I am cool. Look at this shit, man.
What is that?
Dang.
Yeah, what are we looking at there, Kurt?
Yeah,
It's a coil for when you vape. It's on the atomizer, right? So
Oh.
it's taking,
Oh, okay.
Oh,
you
no,
see how,
anything.
but that's taken. He made that on something about this big. You know what I mean? On the very tip of that, like something that detailed. That's ridiculous. Just wrapping wires.
I'd like to know, why do you have 666 tattooed to your finger?
I don't think that's what that is.
Because I worship the devil.
No, it's actually 999.
It's 666.
No, I'm saying it's 999. It's on his middle finger, isn't it?
So what you're telling me is he's only evil when he's doing a handstand.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Exactly.
No, that's his saying. He's holding up his middle finger and he's going 999. No, no, no.
No, no.
German, come on, folks, get it.
He's not German.
I am German.
Hey, speaking of German, have any of you guys seen the
I
movie
am
Fury yet?
German, man. You didn't know that?
Gert, nobody cares. Have any of you guys seen the movie Fury yet?
No.
No. It
Ah.
looks good.
You gotta see it. It's good.
What movie?
Fury.
Oh, then Blue, you're too young to see it anyway.
Jeez, thanks.
But I did watch Django Unchained tonight.
I hate that movie.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's like I wish there was more story to it, and it was just less. Oh, I'm gonna kill all these white people who own slaves. It's like that's literally all there is to it. It's just like 2 hours of
Every white person around our class getting shot. Yes, I know. I've watched way too much Cinema Sins, so I'm like, 3 minutes of credits.
Isn't that the best channel ever?
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Yes. Goats in the background here. Next shot, they're gone. You know, I kept doing stuff like that throughout the whole frickin' movie.
Dude, he's ruined my movie watching experiences now. And I
Yeah. I was doing that throughout the whole movie. I'm like, shots went right through the body and killed like 3 bad guys. He killed a body in front of him, and none of the bullets penetrate from rifles.
Oh, a movie that I saw this weekend is John Wick, and that movie has some seriously good gunplay. Like, all the guys that get shot and instantly drop are like shot in the head. There's a bunch of guys that like get shot in the chest and like they're kind of like knocked down or they're like, oh, I got shot or whatever, but they aren't like just one shot from like 30 feet away by a handgun like in the gut and he just flies backwards. There's none of that stuff. It's like really realistic.
Yeah, but I actually did like Django Unchained. I thought it was actually very well done. I gave it a good 4 stars on Netflix. Didn't love it. I really liked it.
Glad that you're taking the rankings seriously. Literally. I really liked it, but I didn't love it. So I'll have to give it 4 stars. I'm sorry.
Apparently, if you rate the stuff, Netflix kind of gives you the same stuff along the same lines. I didn't know that. But apparently, that's what happens.
Well, I always rate everything I watch, whether it's I've watched 3 minutes of this movie, watched the first 2.5 for credits, and it gets hated it. I didn't watch the whole movie, but I still hated it.
Yeah, I feel like if you can't even make it 5 minutes into the movie, you have to rate it low so you don't see it or something like it ever again.
Yep. I just like all the PBS stuff that's been put on there lately. Been watching a shit ton of that. PBS. Nickelodeon stuff's crap, for the most part.
Hey, have you seen that PBS thing? I think it's by Ken Burns or whatever about Prohibition.
Ken Burns' Prohibition, that was very good.
Oh, it was so good.
Ken
the whole
Burns,
time I was watching. What?
Yeah. What have you seen Ken Burns' The War?
No, I haven't.
That's about World War II.
Well, the thing I found so interesting about Prohibition is I was watching it and just the attitude of the teetotalers, whatever, the anti-drinking people, their attitude of nobody needs to do this or you people can't handle it, but it's okay for me to do it. It's just so current anti-gunner that like the whole time I'm watching this, I'm just like drawing parallels between the anti-drinking people then and the anti-gun people now.
Yep.
And it was scary how close they were.
Yeah. Well, with the war, that's a Ken Burns thing, just in case anybody forgot.
Yeah.
So it's about the I'm going to call them kids because that's what they really were when they went off to World War II. They were kids, but the people from four towns in the United States. One was a place in Minnesota, one place was a place in Alabama. One was out on the East Coast, and then one in California. So they covered all the coasts. They covered the Midwest, the South, East and West. So it gave you a really good perspective, and it's a really good miniseries. If you got any interest in World War II at all, it's good to watch.
What show is that?
Ken Burns' The War.
Oh, yeah. That is a good one.
Yeah, I'm just going to say this to line. Hulu Plus is the biggest scam ever.
Yeah.
You still gotta watch. You pay for it, but you still gotta watch commercials.
I don't pay for it.
And you wonder why people think you might be just a touch bit spoiled.
I don't use it often. I mean, I have it. I just don't use it. My dad got it. He wanted to see Lost in Space.
You get a premium product that the rest of us have to pay for. I mean, I don't get the paid-for version because I can't afford it. I get the free version, so I only get a fraction of what you get. But thank you for rubbing it in my face that you get it for free.
Yeah, I pay the whole $7.95 a month for Netflix. That's so much cheaper than $90 a month for cable.
Oh no.
Yeah, I do the Netflix routine through my internet as well because I have to pay for it.
Yep.
I don't have someone else paying my entertainment bills.
Yeah, if I did not rely on Netflix and my internet so much, I definitely would drop my internet. I can tell you that. Internet's like my new television. I've been thinking about that because I'm paying like almost $60 a month for my fucking internet now, which sucks.
Well, what's your alternative though, as far as getting like entertainment stuff?
Local television.
Oh, okay.
Over the air.
Well,
So I watch Ellen all day or something,
Well, I forget that you have that as an option because of where you don't live below the line of sight of the tower.
No, I'm actually one of the highest points in my county.
I don't live below the water table, but I live below the line of sight of the tower.
Dude, just get you an antenna.
Yeah, I live in a river valley. What am I going to do? Get a 200-foot antenna?
Yep.
All right, fine. Get you a 30-foot antenna and then like a quarter mile of cable. And you just mount the antenna up where it can reach, and then you just run a little cable back down to your house.
Yep. Put an active filter in.
We're good to go.
Hey, that's how cable TV was invented. You could just get like a weather balloon and then like tie the end, like the receiver of your antenna, to the weather balloon, and then just run it 300 or 400 foot up in the sky, and then just leave it there, and then have like a coaxial cable tethering the balloon to the ground, and then just run it straight into your TV.
I've got a question for you. Maybe somebody here. Good company for Glock holsters, preferably inside the waistband.
Well, I could. You mean like a hybrid holster?
Yeah, I know about Old Faithful, but I don't want to wait, 6 months to get one from Old Faithful. And
Alien Gear. I've heard they're good.
Yeah, I actually own the Alien Gear too, but they've got a big wait period too now that they're bought by Old Faithful.
I bought 2 holsters from the same company, and I got both of them within 5 to 7 business days of placing my order. And I'm very happy with the holsters. And the reason I have 2 of them is because I got one for my Glock 26, and I got one for my Glock 23 that also has a weapons light on it. So I had to get a different holster for it. And I bought them 6 months apart from one another, and it was from Concealment Solutions, and it's called the Black Mamba. It's just the name of the product, but it's their hybrid holster. And then I got the combat cut, which just simply means when you reach down, you don't grab any leather, you just grab the grip. But and it was
Concealment Solutions.
Concealment Solutions. It was a lot less money also than, at least when I bought it, than what Crossbreed wanted. And I also didn't like the idea of clips that, because I have no problem with a cross, but I don't want clips that other gun guys know, oh, gee, that's a Crossbreed holster.
Cork, the link I posted has a bunch of different, I don't know if you've seen it, but it has a bunch of different things.
There are a number of companies that make good quality hybrid holsters now. But when I bought mine, there was Crossbreed and only a few others. Now there's a lot more.
Then, Blue, I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to take your advice.
But I mean, if I needed to replace one of my holsters, or a friend or relative or loved one, whatever, was getting into it and wanted an inside the waistband hybrid, I would absolutely encourage them to check out Concealment Solutions, the Black Mamba holster. Now, it's not the cheapest, but it's also not the most expensive. But I will tell you, the quality is top of the line. At least on the two hybrid holsters I got from them.
I have to give a shout out to the only company I've ever bought a holster from. That's Green Line Tactical. I think it is.
Hard to give a shout out if you're not sure of the name.
Well, okay, it was like a year ago. Hold on. Let's go.
Well, I actually bought both my holsters. I bought one of them this last January, and the first one I bought a year ago in June. And they were both from Concealment Solutions.
Yeah, Dreamforce Tactical. I got a appendix, a holster for my SIG 250, and it's held up really well over the last 10 months that I've had it. So, I mean, it's a pretty solid holster.
Yeah. I think Quirk is looking for something for somebody with a little bit of extra around the middle.
Yep.
Well, they actually, I actually had to make a custom appendix for me because I had a APL attached to the gun, and I think they had made one or two other appendix light bearing holsters at the time, but they've made a bunch of, or I think they made a bunch of other inside waistband stuff. But I mean, the guy, I was talking to the guy, he said he was gonna buy a blue gun for me. He said he wasn't even gonna charge me extra because he had to buy the gun for me. He's just like, whatever, it'll be fine.
Right.
So, I mean, he's good people.
Yeah.
So I have to give a shout out for that.
I just find, for myself, hybrid holsters as a category, for me, are very, very comfortable. And I also know that Edge overall, again, I'm not as big as Edge, although he is losing weight. That he prefers hybrid holsters as a category.
Alright, I just put the Combat Edition in my bookmarks, so in case anybody's wondering, they're like $70, so that's not bad. And usually 5 to 7 days.
The other thing, which is kind of a personal preference thing, is I have the spring steel clips on mine, and at the time that's the only kind they offered. But I actually prefer those kind of clips. They now offer both Kydex as well as spring steel.
Yep.
But like I said, I prefer the spring steel because it lasts forever, as well as I've never had a problem with it ever coming loose or anything.
No, I agree with you there. That's the standard. I like the standard. That's standard steel clip. So
some people seem to prefer the Kydex, but
Yeah, I like being able to slide my whole holster off and I have to take my fucking belt off.
Yeah, I mean, I only take my holster off when I take my pants
Kydex
off.
belt, and it just clips over the or there's a Kydex clip, it just clips right over the belt.
Right,
I don't
but
take
that's
my
not.
belt off of this guy.
No, yeah, but that's not a hybrid holster
Oh yeah, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Never mind.
wide. But the advantage of being wide is it disperses the weight over a much greater area. So I can really see, especially if you want like a steel gun, I can really see that it would make it a lot easier to cover, or to not to conceal, but not feel the weight.
Spring steel clip like this one?
Yep. Yep, that's it.
Yeah, it is nice having that little clip right there. Because like I just have this like universal reversible like $5
Right. Generic.
Walmart I got. Yeah. I really like this I really like that really crappy holster because I tried this as an appendix for about a couple of weeks before I got my Green Force one, like just to see if I liked it and see like, so then I would have a comparison of like a bad appendix and a good appendix holster, and it really makes you see the difference in between a good and bad quality holster. Like this, I was actually wearing this outside the waistband yesterday and today, and like just with like a vest over it, and it was really printing. But that being said, I was with my fiance and her dad for like 4 or 5 hours yesterday, and then once we were back at their house, I like took my vest off, and then like an hour later, like I was wearing the gun the whole time, even with this guy and like the grip sticking out to like here, he was like, "What are you doing wearing the gun in the house?" And I'm like, "I've been wearing this thing all day long." He's like, "What?" So
Yeah.
as an aside, people don't pay attention flat out. They just have no eye for detail.
You know, another difference. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, I told you that story, tell you this story. Number one, people have no eye for detail. And number two, even this guy is a lot more comfortable outside the waistband than a good inside the waistband holster, at least with a full-size pistol like I carry. But I can definitely see how a good outside the waistband would make this, like, just seem like a total piece of crap like it actually is.
Right. But what I was going to say is another difference, which of course should be somewhere in writing, but I know like and Concealment Solutions isn't the only company that does this, but they have a 30-day, now you have to pay for it up front, but if you don't like it, as long as you return it within 30 days, they'll take it back. Now some companies will do it for like 2 weeks. Concealment Solutions will do it for 30 days. Some companies won't do it at all, though. It's like, no, it's like underwear. Once you wear it, it's yours.
You know, I've never heard of a company like it. I've actually never heard of a company doing that, but it makes total sense. It's like you don't know if you're going to like a holster until you wear it for a while. And how are you going to know if you like it until you're wearing it? And then if you got it and you don't like it, it's like you're just screwed. Throw it in a box and keep it for later or something. It's like that would be a really good idea if you could just ship it back to them. Especially with something like a Glock. Like something that they're going to sell tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure Concealment Solutions is not the only holster company that does that.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure you're right. I'm sure a lot of others do it too. It's just I've never heard of that. Or if they ever said it, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, but it's one of those things when you're looking at price, quality, turnaround time till you get it at your door, you know, sale after the service is also what you're paying for. Service after the sale is what I meant.
Oh, I like sales after the service. I like them trying to sell me stuff afterwards. See what's going on in the external.
I don't know, I'm just looking at somebody's pointed out Fox holsters. I haven't bookmark this page for later. Look at it.
I've heard of Fox holsters, but not by anybody I actually know. Only like through internet reviews from channels I don't really know them.
Yep.
I mean, from somebody like on gun channels who I'd have a chance to talk to and ask questions of, I'd have a little bit more faith than just some guy somewhere in the United States who said he did a review, who said he's being objective, who said he didn't, he paid for it, but really got it for free. And I have no problem with people getting free holsters for evaluation.
Is that a dig at Edge? Are you trying to call out Edge right now?
Well, I was actually about to quantify what I said. I have no problem with people getting free holsters, evaluating them, as long as at the very beginning of the interview, before they start to talk about the product, they actually state, I got this from XYZ company for test and evaluation for me. And then go ahead and roll on with your review. But at least you're upfront about it. But I know there are some channels that they aren't upfront about it. They word it in a certain way where they're not lying, but they're not really being clear about how they got it. And to me, it kind of taints their objectivity. They may be telling the truth, and they may not.
This is the only thing I don't like about this holster. See how far
it pokes out?
Yeah. It's because this holster is not made for this.
Yeah.
It's like, in this right here, like when I'm sitting down, and I have to be sitting down for like 2 hours when I'm like driving across the state before this right here really starts to irritate me. And then when it does, like, it's still not unbearable, like it's uncomfortable, it's still not unbearable. But besides that, this holster is awesome. I have no complaints. Well, I would like to spend time when there's 2 tips on it. But like I said, this is just a modified, non-migrating holster. And I think that actually takes their time.
You guys ever hear of the YouTube channel called Gun Blast?
No.
Yeah. I've
the
heard
guy down in
that guy with the big beard?
Yes. He's
Yeah.
got that beard with 2 pieces coming out. He did a review.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
He did a review of the Remington R51 and gave it a thumbs up just before, I think it was just before SHOT Show. But I also noticed at that same time he was reviewing like 3 or 4 other Remington products. So he must have made like a trip to Remington or something.
That guy, I've only heard one thing about him, and that is that he is so biased. He is so in the pocket of the industry, of the big names in the industry. That's like he's basically at this point just a product show.
Right. He's a YouTube mouthpiece.
Yeah, he might as well be a representative for whatever company he's holding in his hand. Like he's got a product in his hand at that point in time. Like he's holding an R51, he's a Remington rep. He's holding the Mossberg shotgun. Well, now he's like a Mossberg rep. It's like it doesn't matter what he's holding. He's representing them as they're paying him to represent them in front of the camera. He's just totally sold out, unbelievably so. And then, of course, the big piece of evidence that I've seen is that he gave Remington 51 anything but 2 thumbs completely down. Like the fact that he gave him a thumbs up at all just makes it even worse.
Right. I mean, I don't even watch his videos anymore. I mean,
honestly, you're probably better off not watching his videos.
yeah. I mean, he was one of those when I first started watching, or I first discovered that people talked about guns on YouTube, not just kittens. I mean, I'm serious. For years, all I ever heard about YouTube was about kitten videos and little children doing silly things, and all those things. So I didn't know there was any value there, so I didn't even bother to look. put in the search term guns to see what would come up. But when I finally did, because I thought, well, maybe I'll check. Maybe somebody did something on I forget, some 22 rifle I was looking at, and all of a sudden something came up, and gun blasts along with like Hickok 45, and along with the other guy with the 2-hour videos out from Washington State. What's it? Lieutenant Colonel. Lieutenant. Yeah, nothing fancy. He also has another channel called Lieutenant Colonel something.
Yeah, LTC, nothing fancy. That's where he puts up stuff that he shot and he kind of wants to put out, but it doesn't meet the nothing fancy channel standards.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what that means by it doesn't meet the standards. What standard? It's a YouTube channel.
Like the stuff on there, he only puts stuff on there like every now and then. Like he's got a whole bunch of stuff. Like what was it? I saw like a 15-minute video of his a couple weeks ago before his Mossberg review came out, and it was just him running some shotgun shells, and it showed like how he had a couple of misfeeds with it or whatever. I mean, it didn't have any editing in it. It was just some stuff that was kind of interesting, but it wasn't like, if you're not really into the Mossberg, you're probably not going to be into this video. But like, if you're into the Mossberg, you kind of want to see it run. They were having some misfeeds and some weird problems with it, but it's like, and he talked about them in his review, and he kind of showed some clips of it. But it was just like the full unedited video on the B-roll channel. It's like a behind-the-scenes channel almost. That's a much better description.
Gotcha.
I'm not a fancy fan. I don't know if I would describe myself as a TMPer because I haven't like bought any of his stuff. So I mean, I guess I'm biased towards him or whatever. I don't know. So that's just my disclaimer.
There's things he does and says that I do enjoy and like, but sometimes he's
a bit of a windbag.
Yeah, that's a fair criticism. He is long-winded. I'll tell you that.
There's a market for 2-minute videos, and there's a market for videos that go into extreme detail.
Yeah, definitely.
And his market is the extreme detail. Now, so I wasn't actually going to talk about the length of his videos at all. I mean, because if you don't have the time or the interest in a Mossberg 500 shotgun and listen to it for an hour, then you best probably tune somebody else's channel in. But
Quark smash.
He's just
I don't know. Smash a Mossberg 500 with your Warhammer.
Somebody send me a 500 and I will.
Hey, if I send you a $10 bill, can you make that happen?
You send me a $10 bill, I'll put it toward my Block 22 purchase.
Can I write Mossberg 500 on the bill? Like on the $10 bill?
Sure.
If I send you a $10 bill, will you stop posting Smash videos?
They're already up and they're scheduled to almost the end of January, all my videos. They're not all Smash videos, but
if I send you
no more coming up because I did not get a pumpkin this year. Otherwise, I would have had a pumpkin smashing video.
If I send you $12, will you go in and change all the release dates so all of your Smash videos come out all at once?
That would work too.
We'll do that for 20.
Oh, great. I just go to your channel, I go to the uploads, I just hit the play button, and it would just play all these Smash videos that were released like in the last 12 hours. Probably 12 hours of them, because I have no idea how many you have, but I imagine it's a lot. If they're scheduled through January,
they're not all Smash videos or review videos and other stuff too.
Okay.
I mean,
if I wasn't so. Yeah, if I was so.
Smash and slash and burn videos.
Yeah, I had to decide between buying a pumpkin or buying 20 packs of ramen. I bought 20 packs of ramen.
I guess they're a quarter each.
Nah, they're 18 cents each here.
How much does your pumpkin cost?
Pumpkins are $4, so.
Pumpkins are $5 here.
See, that could be that's like 16 meals of
20
ramen
packs?
noodles.
That's 10 meals, really. I mean, well, I make 2 packs at a time, and I make 2 meals. I make it stretch into 2 meals.
Why do you make 2 at a time?
Because then I only have to wash the pot once instead of twice in a day.
Oh, okay. Well, that I understand. But doesn't your second batch become like all like super pasty, dried out?
No, I put it in the refrigerator with with some saran wrap on top of it, and it keeps it nice and moist. I put a little extra water in it when I put it in the fridge, so it doesn't do that. I learned that pretty quickly.
Because it seems like even if you put in just
Did Dano freeze? Yes.
of it.
I know.
You
It
froze
sounded like
there.
he was really considering what he was about to say.
Yeah. My internet connection keeps on popping in and out.
Dude, that's the liberals, man. They know you're pro-gun, and you're talking about guns, so they're coming in and they're sabotaging your internet, man. Come on.
That's right.
Don't tell me you don't tinfoil hat just a little bit.
A little. A little.
I don't. I don't at all. I honestly subscribe to the school of thought that you shouldn't consider something malicious if it can be adequately explained through.
I'm looking to see when my last Smash video comes out.
But go ahead and say it. You shouldn't be malicious of what?
You shouldn't attribute something to maliciousness if it can be adequately described through ignorance. Like, if somebody does something and it's equally likely that they're mean and they did it on purpose, or they're just stupid and they accidentally did something mean, it's honestly more likely that they're being morons. They did something mean they didn't even realize it. And they saw it, they understood it, and they proceeded to be mean. Like, for instance, politicians making stupid gun laws that aren't based in reality. You could all look at those and go, obviously, they're trying to make stupid gun laws to just get at us and dig us just a little bit more because they make no damn sense. Or you could say, they're just morons. They have no idea what they're doing, but they don't like guns, so they're making more laws that don't make sense.
But it also shows that in addition, maybe in addition to being a moron, that they just don't care about a certain portion of society.
Oh yeah, no, that definitely. It's like there's no level of ignorance that you could give them to where you look at that and say, oh, well, they didn't realize that they were making anti-gun laws. It's like they know exactly what they're. Well, they don't know exactly what they're doing. Honestly, they're obviously trying to stick it to us by saying that they're doing it for the children or whatever.
Right.
But all these stupid laws like 922R, short-barreled shotguns and rifles, AOWs, that stuff, like the really stupid, ignorant stuff, that isn't because they're trying to be extra mean. That's just because they're really stupid. They have no idea what they're talking about sometimes.
Yeah.
Alright, Dano, for your information, my last Smash video comes out on the 27th of January. I can tell you there's been a time when there isn't many Smash videos, and it goes to other videos, so...
You're killing me, Quirk. You're killing me.
$20, I'll release them all at once.
Well, guys, this chat's about to get crazy.
Uh-oh.
I've unleashed the Kraken. Let's see what happens.
No, let's take a peek.
Yep.
What?
All my Pyro series are out. I only did a couple of those. I've got one sitting in video folder that I haven't done anything to because I don't know if I want to or not. But I got a couple planned. I'm just waiting for a day when, one, it's not windy, and two, it's sunny. But it's gonna be a cool one because it's gonna involve ammo. So it'll be a manly video. It's gonna be, 12 gauge.
Nice. Honestly, Quark, I am kind of surprised that you ended up choosing a Glock as your next gun when you're so anti-pro Glock.
People say I'm anti-Glock. I'm just like, Glocks are not really meant for me, but
See,
when I can get a firearm that's as reliable as a Glock for $330.
I keep forgetting that the police trade-in is a super good deal. I'd probably get one too.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And, that allows me to actually have a sidearm on my side that I'm comfortable with. I know it's going to work. Even though I'm not 100% comfortable with it, and I have to get used to the new grip I'm going to have to take and everything. But it's a gun until I can actually afford to, get a SIG or get a PPQ.
Or get a M&P. Yes, Edge is finally here. I was waiting on him.
Yeah, I actually discovered online earlier this week that there was somebody having an M&P police sale. Trade-ins.
Yeah, that's a one gun I will not carry because I cannot get over their mushy triggers.
Dude.
Oh my God! Turn the camera off! I'm blind!
Try an M&P that was made, like, in the last year or something, because I got my M&P in late January of 2014, so it was manufactured, like, not too long ago, and, there's a little bit of grit, like, in the slack that you're just pulling up anyway, but, I mean, that's the slack of the trigger, like, that doesn't mean anything anyway. The actual, like, once there's actual pressure on the trigger, it's just about as good as any Glock trigger I've ever pulled.
I've handled a bunch of them at my local gun store, or gun shop, I should actually say, to make Yankee happy if he ever hears this, but I doubt he ever will. But every one I've handled, that includes this year, every trigger is either extremely gritty or extremely mushy.
Corp those goats.
And I don't want a carry gun where I'm going to have to replace the trigger.
Well, if it wasn't a police trade-in, I was going to say you could buy an M&P and replace the trigger for what the stock Glock is going to cost you. But since you're buying like a $350 or $370 Glock, that line of logic really doesn't apply anymore.
Yeah, it actually, from CDNN, it's going to be like just under $350 shipped. And then $25 transfer fee, and
Yeah, like I said, even I would get one at that price. That's awesome. Like, if I didn't already have a full-size pistol, I would seriously consider that deal.
Yeah, I'm trying to raise $500 total because then I can get myself a $70 holster and a couple a box of ammo and then a box of range ammo.
Raise, you ask which one you want to pay for it?
Rage ammo.
Range, yep. So we're taking donations here tonight. If everybody on Gun Channel's donated just $10, I could probably buy the firearm tomorrow. Well, once it cleared into my account.
Well, that'd only be $210 at this point. There was 30 people on before.
Just go sell your sperm. There you go. You're set.
Actually, or because nobody's going to really want that, but your plasma.
I can't sell my plasma either.
Dude, you are out of control, man.
Man, come on, man.
Dano, I'm a type 1 I'm a type 1 diabetic. They will not take my plasma.
I want to.
Yeah, I forgot. I remember that the moment it left my mouth.
Dano, who are you? What did you do with the real Dano? I mean, you can leave.
I there and tried, and if I should have lied, but they give you, I guess they do tests.
The real Dano is Special Ops, man, and he has a mustache. Spec Ops guy. You should see the real Dano back in the day.
Oh yeah, you look to a video on my channel from like a year ago, you'll see the stash, the porn stash from 1970. Yep, the porn stash.
The Ron Jeremy stash.
It's the one hit the background music, dun, 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 you know, fucking Magnum PI music in the background.
Yep.
But without the looks.
You would look good with a
Yep.
porn stash.
That was my nickname for a while, was Magnum PI without the good looks, because I got that nickname the same night that good guy with a gun got his Ewok nickname.
I would have said you look like Ron Jeremy without the penis.
Well, you'd have to look at it to be able to tell, and I don't think you've got enough time to get from beginning to end.
Just tell Dana. Your balls touch the water when you sit in the toilet.
It was in one of Luke's when Luke was doing chats that both Good Guy and I got our nicknames. Except mine didn't really stick, and Good Guy's was, let's just call it Sticky.
See, I would have nicknamed you Bookum Dano. That would have been a better nickname.
Yeah.
Yankee said I was Mr. Clean who let himself go.
I mean, nicknames are given to you. You can't really pick them for yourself.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. I know many nicknames in Laredo from folks that to this day I still laugh thinking about them.
We're just gonna add a P and change that first E to U.
And you got named La Flema, which means the phlegm.
It's like Podge.
No. Hold on. Let's look at this. La Flemma means the phlegm.
The phlegm. That was his nickname.
That in a million years.
I knew a fat guy that was named El Lonche, which meant, you know, the lunch guy. Cause he's
I knew a fat guy.
The lunch.
Looked a lot like me.
The lunch, and then another guy named La Masa, which the mass, or the dough, La Masa.
No.
Yeah, well, masa means it means dough, pretty much. That's what it is. Masa. Doughboy. You gotta call him Doughboy.
Funny if he's a Marine. Hilarious if he's fat.
I know a guy named Chocolate Chip, but he's called Chocolate Chip. He's dark as a freaking burnt cookie.
You call him dark chocolate.
That's what they call him. It's Chocolate Chip.
Yeah. Nickname Yankee tried to get me did not stick.
What did he try to call you?
Come drop.
Mr. Clean who let himself go.
No, what was that character in season 2 of The Walking Dead that was in the well? The water supply.
I thought that was just a zombie that had got in there.
Yeah, well, that's more realistic.
Walker?
Yeah, I don't think they give names to the zombies.
Yep.
I mean, that one girl tried, but I don't know whatever happened to her.
You don't know what happened to her?
No, I quit watching halfway through the last season. I just couldn't handle it anymore.
Carol capped her ass.
Was
Yeah,
she going crazy?
I know you're gonna save time. You're gonna save it for tonight's for tomorrow's episode, but or for the chat tomorrow. But man, that started as a fucked up episode, and I was like,
Don't. I have not seen it yet. Don't worry.
I'm not gonna give spoilers. I'm just saying I'm gonna give just a general synopsis. Not even that. It started I was like, where the hell am I? Am I watching the same fucking show? And then I was like, okay, it's getting a little bit better.
You know, it wouldn't have been so weird if they hadn't killed Carl right at the beginning.
And then Rick turned gay, and then I was like, Jesus Christ, where's this thing going? Rick and a black guy started making out, and I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Dan,
Rick took the right in the ass.
And start checking the channel, or start checking the corner of the TV and make sure it's on the right channel. I hadn't flipped over to Skinamax accidentally.
There you go.
Yep, and Dano, you just pimp hand puppets. Come on.
Do you guys ever try out those tactical gear as far as pants and shorts or whatever?
Do they make them in your size?
I have a pair of
Yeah, they do now.
Hold on a sec. Let me find them.
No, I mean I got. I know. I mean I've been. I started with 511. Some shorts, got some pants, then bought some Vertex pants, and then I got some good deals, man, off eBay. Those 24/7.
Look at all these freaking pockets.
There you go.
It's awful. I can't wear these pants unless I'm going to the range. That's how many freaking pockets are.
Yeah, I got some true spec ones. I got off eBay, man. I got a fucking solid deal of $15 with free shipping
You got
for like
normal
fucking
pockets here,
$50 pants or
and you got
$70 pants.
front pocket here. And the same thing on the other side. In your normal pocket again. You can
You know
actually
what?
get this cargo pocket right here. There's like a hole on the flap so that you can like put. I don't know what in the world I would put in there. Like
What brand is that?
Stupid.
What brand is it?
It's LA Police Gear.
Well, that's a vendor. I don't think do they make their own pants?
Oh man, look, check this nonsense.
How much brass do you find inside your pants
Okay, well, yeah,
pockets when you're done?
looks like they are.
They do sell 511, and at first I thought these were 511 until just now when I looked at them.
I like 511 because I like that pocket where you had that, we could put a magazine in there in your front pocket.
Right.
And then I like
Dude.
the True Spec. I just bought these True Spec. I bought them for $15 for free shipping. I got one of those real lucky deals where it's like somebody's like giving them away basically brand new. So damn. And I got those, and I like the pockets inside the right side cargo, or both side cargo pockets have magazine slots. So if you're gonna carry, you put them in the left side, and I like those. I bought a pair of those 24/7 from True Spec.
My LA operator pants I got those for Christmas a couple years ago, and I actually got them for like a super good. I got them like at cost because they're like blemish or something. Like somewhere the stitching wasn't up to spec. I guess there's a downside to having Filipino children sew them all together, but so I got them for like at cost or something.
What kind of sucks is you order a waist size, and some brands are true, like you measure yourself and you're true to the waist size. Other brands are like they have some slop in them, or they're tight. It's kind of weird.
Oh well, dude, that's just like how the fashion industry is, or like I guess fashion industry is a bad term. Like that's just how the clothing industry is. Like you go buy something like Walmart or Kmart, they're gonna like some brands actually give you like 4, sometimes even 6 inches on your waist. Like it'll be like a 36, like an actual 36, 37-inch waist, and they're like size 32 pants will fit you. So you're like, oh, I'm a 32. It's like when you're wearing a 37-inch waist for pants. And then you go over to like a better quality store and they have better pants where it'll only give you like 2 inches. And you're like, why am I grabbing the 35? So I'm not that fat. And then you get like an actual tape measure. And you're like, I have a 39-inch waist. When am I a slob? And then you put on your 32s and you feel good about yourself. But you're the same size in all the pants. That's how that works.
The True Specs have a pretty good little expansion on them. Using like a, I don't know what the hell, there's like a band that they have that expands a little bit on it. I like those. I was pretty impressed with them. I'm definitely buy some more down the road. They're comfortable too. Those rip stop in case you get a snag. You have to worry about the fucking thing tearing apart on you.
So I was gonna finish it off by saying that I hate like looking at belts online because I think it's like SOE or whoever it is down there in Camden. He's like, don't measure yourself and like buy what the tape measure says. Just buy the size of pants you wear. And I'm like, I wear pants that like some say I'm a 32, but I'm actually like a 35. So do I buy the 35 belt or do I buy the 32 belt? Like I'm sure I can go find a pair of pants that this guy actually wears that say that he's a 30. So it's like, will his 30 size belt fit me? It's like I hate when people say that. It's like just give me the actual inch measurements of your belt. Tell me what the belt actually is. Don't say this is a belt for a 32-inch like waist, not an actual 32 waist, like a 32-inch waist and pants. I'm like, by what brand?
Yeah.
Who's 32? Like the real 32 or like a Levi's 32 or like a Faded Glory 32?
There you go. I got to clarify something. Reason I look like I'm so short, yeah, I have an average computer chair at a tall ass bench I set up. This bench is tall.
Okay.
Oh,
He's
I
gonna.
thought. Yeah,
Like,
and should the
pretty much, like,
hydraulics go on that computer
if I
chair?
stand up, it's at my waist, the bench, where it meets me.
Yeah, but your
I'm
chair
gonna
looks like
say,
it
Ed?
comes up
Yeah, my
like
chair is all fucked up. I need to get like a one of those drafting chairs, something like that, with a little,
yeah, or a bar chair
something like that.
or a stool.
One out
Man, I hate those tall chairs. You have to like scooch the whole chair to move.
But I want one of those where like it has a little toilet seat on it, so I just don't have to go anywhere and just stay there.
God.
Dude, would that be the best idea ever, or what? Like an adjustable elevation rolly chair that you can just poop in. You don't even have to leave. You can like roll it into the kitchen, get something to eat. You can like adjust it for different table heights, and then you can just poop in it.
My wife's be like, "What's going on with you?" I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good.
I mean,
But Ed, I do have to say, you do look like a good guy with a gun 77 and a kitty table.
Well, he's short. I'm not. I mean, I don't ever consider myself tall. I don't consider myself short by any means. I'm 5'11". Now that's not tall, but for being Hispanic, that's pretty damn tall. Now, as far as
You got the weight down for being Hispanic too.
yeah, but I've never felt that tall until I met my wife's family, and they're all short. Even her brother-in-law, he's like, I'm looking down at him, I'm like, damn, dude, that's fucked up.
Now you know how I feel most days. I look down at everybody.
so
Yeah,
it's,
but they look down on you in particular, so they already got you beat.
Hey, I may not be very tall, but I still look down on everybody around me.
There you go. That's
So
right.
that doesn't mean anything.
Well, that's one thing nice about being 6'4". You look down at everybody.
so it looks like you're still losing some weight there.
Yeah, I'm down to about 250.
That's good.
Damn. I've been stuck at 280.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about my sexy body tonight, but we can get into it.
Well, I mean, if you wait till you hit your goal weight at 195 or whatever it is, I mean, you'd be waiting forever.
Being down from 317 is a good deal.
Exactly. I mean, you have to enjoy some success along the way.
Well, it's been about 6 months.
You said 317 to 250?
Yeah, I was 317
Damn.
in December.
Wow, dude,
My highest was 325.
Yeah, it's weird because like people are like, oh, are you got new clothes? No, these are my old clothes. I fucking just kept. I was like, one of these days I'm gonna fit back in these bastards again. My pants. I had like fucking 6 pairs of khakis back when fucking khakis were hit, and I still had
you
now.
mean still?
Well, I'm talking about like the fucking Brian Setzer Gap khaki era, and I was like,
Dude,
okay.
that's probably before my time.
And I was like, oh yeah, whatever. And now shit just fits all over again. It's like, wow, I look like I didn't throw all that shit away. I'm glad to get rid of all the fucking fat clothes I bought.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I was about to say, there are much worse problems in the world than having to buy all new clothes because you're not fat enough to fit into it anymore.
Well, it gives you a reality check when you have to actually go to one of those fucking big boy stores to buy a fucking pair of jeans, and they're fucking $70 because they're ripping you off because they're like, oh, you have to obviously can't buy off the rack. You have to come to this store. And it's like, I don't know where I'll buy one of these fucking pairs of jeans again.
Now you know
it's like a fat.
Buying shirts because I need the tall shirts. So I've got a long torso, so I always got to buy the tall
You got a long gut.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I only have a 32-inch inseam, but I'm 6'4".
Yeah, I'm 30. 30 inseam.
Yeah, so I got the long torso. So I normally buy 3X, but I have to get the 3X tall. If I just get the regular 3X, then I might as well be wearing one of those girl shirts that show my belly off.
You're 6'4" and you have a 32-inch inseam?
Yes.
Jeez.
That's, dude, 32.
Even with a 32-inch inseam.
Yeah, 32s like you can tear right away. I was going through my old pants and and like I can use this again and shit. I could obviously see what the 30 inseam because that's what I normally wear, and the 32s are all teared up at the hem, all torn up at the bottom. And I was like, I'll cut these up and make some shorts out of them or something. Wear around shorts around the house. Whatever.
Do you wear khaki cutoffs around the house?
That's right, dude. Well, no, I just wear bikini.
You're in form this weekend. What happened?
Rat right there.
You find some of that wacky tobacco finally?
What's the matter? You reading the sides yet?
Yeah.
Okay, Peter.
I don't have a gut like Peter.
Well, no, but Peter's got little stubby legs.
Yes, that is true. I also got little stubby legs.
I was not referring to the girth. I was referring to the shortness of the legs.
Yeah, that is true. I've got short legs, but I'm still taller than you.
For that aircraft carrier I couldn't find.
Yeah, that's one reason why I have to do inside the waistband as well, because it's just getting cover garments. I'm not going to go around wearing a robe.
I got a question for you, Quirk, and it's a Green Bay question. Somewhere around you, there's a nuclear power reactor that was deactivated about 1.5 to 2 years ago?
Yep.
Because my neighbor got a job at my local nuclear power reactor.
Yep.
From there.
Yeah, we usually go into that secure room when we was allowed to. Yeah, the one that's all radiation. Walk in there and you just turn the handle, buddy.
So how far are you from the decommissioned reactor?
About 35 miles.
Okay.
Hey, that's right along Lake Michigan.
He just moved in.
Radiation, but too far for it to not be snowing.
As long as you're not from Oklahoma, that's the best.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's driving me crazy because I know the one you're talking about. Actually, my gun shop actually got a whole bunch of AR mags from the decommissioned plant.
I had one guy in a side chat once talking about the whole Oklahoma
So,
thing.
the GI mag is pretty
Why do you
dirty.
think Texas is so much better than Oklahoma? I'm like, well, one, the schools stay where they're at.
Wait, what?
The schools stay where they're at.
What does that mean?
The landscape stays where it's at. Tornadoes.
Oh.
Dude,
Gotcha.
tornadoes don't move the land, they just blow the trailer homes around.
There you go.
Yeah. The hills are still there. It just whatever was on the hill is gone.
No, we don't have hills in Oklahoma. It's too flat.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, in Illinois, we don't have hills either.
Yeah, but you guys have trees.
Well, I mean, even we only have trees in the extreme south and the extreme northwest. Otherwise, we got corn and soybeans, and that's it. And Chicago.
Yeah, and you guys got Okies from Scoobies.
In Chicago.
Yeah, he worked at the Kewanee power station.
Yeah, Pewanee. I think that was it. Yeah.
Kewanee, Kewaune. Kewanee.
There's a Kewanee here in Illinois, except it's not. There's no power station there.
We have a local radio station, a real popular one that's syndicated, and they did some time in Tulsa, and they're always talking about Oklahoma folks, Sooner or Boomer, Sooner Boomers or whatever.
Sooners are the worst people ever. They're the worst kind of person alive. Just a piece, I'm a big OSU fan. I'm actually a student at OSU. See, the running joke is that if you ever see like an OSU fan wearing his orange, and you ask him, "Hey, where'd you get your orange gear at?" He said, "Oh, I got it in Stillwater when I was visiting OSU, like when I was on campus." If you see an OU fan walk around with OU gear on, I say, "Hey, where'd you get your OU gear?" He says, "Oh, I got it at Walmart."
The home of quality.
I will tell you, I'm born and raised in Texas. I went to A&M International, one of the little offsets colleges they have in Laredo, but I've never understood the people that do the thing where they're like the whole family's decked out in Texas gear, Texas, fucking UT, and yet none of them have gone to the college, and none of them are, are legacies or alumni. But they're decked out completely, and I mean, they will die for the colors.
Yeah. What I always find
be surprised if 10% of the OU fans have ever even been on campus, much less even attended a class.
Well, and I've seen that same sort of thing. But what I've also seen is a lot of people who will say, as an example, I went to Ohio State, I went to Harvard, I went to USC. But what they don't say is, and I graduated.
Well, we get a lot with the Harvard thing. We had a lot of people here that do that. That they'll get that business, fucking. It's not a degree.
MBA?
Necessarily. No, not at all. It's this business management course you take, and you get to put in your resume that you study at Harvard, and you took a business management, and you graduated a business management course. Yeah, they had, and it's all online, mind you. And it's like, okay, whatever. And a lot of people put that on their resume. I had this one prick who did. He's recently died. I never could stand. And he was always a dickhead, with that. I always check in Harvard. And I go, yeah, actually, I'll wipe my ass too with paper. You just put it on a plaque.
But I find it interesting, you were talking about people who bought their stuff and never even been on campus, let alone going to school there. But out in the work world, how many people, to boost their own ego, say, oh yeah, I went to such and such. They went there until they got their ass booted out.
UT's
if they even took one class at OU, they're still doing better than like 80% of the other OU fans. So it's like, oh, you've actually been to the campus. Oh, you actually stood in a classroom at one point. Well, okay, you're kind of better off than the majority of the rest of them.
Yeah, the sister campuses that they make of the main universities, like I went to E2M International, what's called TAMU, Texas A&M International University, and we have in San Antonio. We have a UTSA, which is University of Texas San Antonio, and they have one in El Paso, University of Texas at El Paso, E2M, which is they're a big competitor in football, but they're not as selective at those campuses as they are UT. UT, you cannot just roll in there with shitty grades. You have to have really good grades to get in there, unless you're football, or some kind of athlete that you're on top of your game. Those colleges still are held. My sister went to Tech. My sister went to TAMU. I went to TAMU as well. And my sister got a full ride, or not a full ride, her first freshman scholarship to UT in Austin. And she didn't do it because she wanted to follow her best friend to go fucking to Texas Tech in Lubbock, in the middle of fucking nowhere. Lubbock sucks.
Is Texas A&M a state school or a private school?
Texas A&M is a public school, but they have a ton of military students. I think their ROTC is like 20 or 30% plus of their actual students.
Okay. Are they near Fort Hood or something?
They're off to the east of there. They're in Bryan, Texas, which they call it Station Bryan, whatever you want to call it, and they're, like I said, they have a lot of that. If you're going to be a veterinarian, and you're probably going to go to A&M.
Agricultural and mechanical college.
Yeah, cultural, and then agriculture as well.
It used to be.
The other one is marine biology is really big in Corpus Christi. They have that campus they have there. If you're going to be going to marine biology, that's a real big campus to have there. It's known for that. San Antonio has a lot of campuses here that are pretty expensive too. We have Trinity, Incarnate Word, very expensive. St. Mary's. You want to be a lawyer, you can go to St. Mary's. Trinity and Incarnate Word are just really high dollar campuses they have here. And then you have UTSA, and they're building an A&M offset that their franchise are going to put here.
I technically could say I went to the University of Wisconsin, But we have all these extensions. University of Wisconsin, Green Bay, University of Wisconsin.
Does everybody say it though? University of Wisconsin.
No,
Okay,
University of
No, it's spelled
Wisconsin.
with an A. Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
University of Wisconsin.
What they say is they say UW, UW Platteville, UW Madison, UW Stevens Point, UW Green Bay, UW Milwaukee. I mean, they just goes on and on and on and on.
And when you show up to their court, did they give you free cheese every day? Here you go, sir, some cheese.
No, it's a state school. You have to pay for everything.
Right.
I know, but I mean, you have to have some kind of platter or something there when you go into the front quad, some cheese.
For my first year, I
You
went
only paid for half the platter. The government funded the rest of the platter.
Government cheese.
Well, it's
year,
really kind of like a three-way split between tuition, government, and research on the cheese platter.
For my first year, I went to UW Platteville. And I didn't get kicked out, but I realized that I needed to go back to school for some things, so I left before they booted my ass out. And then I went home, worked full-time, went to the community college part-time, and then a year later went back to, not there, but back to a state school in Illinois full-time, and then I finished my degree. And I got a very valuable degree in psychology.
So you Yankee getting.
That's how I know you're lying, because you said valuable degree of psychology.
Well,
I would tell you this. My mother has a master's in teaching. I met many people that have masters, sometimes have multiple degrees, and I look at them like, you're a fucking retard. How the it's like
I like how you're calling people with multiple master's degrees retards.
No, well, I mean, I'm like, dude, no, I see them do like petty jobs, and I'm like, or I don't know if it's their record or something, but no, I'm not saying. I'm again clarified my statement. I'm not saying that you're stupid for getting educated, but I've seen some people. I'm like, how the fuck do you have a master's degree? You're a fucking idiot. And I'm like, and I guess this is the determination to get a degree sometimes. Again, I've never met a doctorate. Educated person that got a doctorate degree that's been like that. But masters, I met multiple people. I'm like, how? There's no way that person, I couldn't even didn't graduate in high school. Nevertheless, has a master's degree. But I guess it's that determination that they had, to get it, and whatever field they were in. And it sometimes, I'm like, God dang, my mother, master's in teaching, and I'm like, she can't fucking turn on the fucking DVD player and put a disc in and get it to play right, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, but she didn't need the type of logic that's needed as an example in IT. You need a good natural sense of logic.
Good idea.
That really can't be taught, but in order to be successful in it, you need to have an innate logical sense of your personality to succeed.
Yeah, like my job, I do. Everybody, I remember the job description I applied. It's like, preferred computer science degree, and I got picked over multiple people because of my background, particularly what they're looking for, but everybody assumes at that job level that you will have a degree. I never pretend I have one because I didn't graduate from college. Never had a degree from any university, but. I knew people asked me, it's like, did you go to college? Yeah. You have a degree.
So you're one of those guys.
Yeah.
Wait, are you saying you went to college?
Yes.
Never graduated, but when they say, hey, you went to college, right? You're like, oh, yeah, no, I totally went.
Yep.
Yep.
That's exactly what he's saying.
Yeah, and they asked me, do you have a degree? Nope. And they're like, why don't you have a degree? How can you have a degree to be here? I have 2 degrees. I'm like, well, good for you. You want to look at my resume? I have to tell you why.
Well,
Yeah.
heck, I'm sure at some point you can say, yeah, I don't have a degree, but I can outwork and outsmart and outthink and basically outperform anybody with any degree that you're considering hiring anyway.
That's how I did it. I hustled my ass to get where I'm at, and that's why I tell my kids all the time, like, you don't want to have to work this hard to get, to make X amount of money, which realistically isn't a whole lot of money. It's better you make your own way. And I have a 19-year-old and an 18-year-old, and I'm like, it's better you make your own path by getting educated and not having to deal with the bullshit. You get to pick your job instead of the job picking you.
Yes. Choices are a wonderful thing, rather than life being a straight road. You have turns to turn off of.
The only time life is a straight road is when you're playing a video game.
Yeah. But
Hey,
you know,
get a college degree now. You've got choices. You can choose to work at McDonald's or Burger King.
we were talking about
No,
personality.
you also have the choice to go back to college and get it.
You get a good skill set, and I mean, and you're determined, to do something with yourself. There's potential in any. I mean, anything you can do. I think Luke does well for himself when he explains all the time, and I don't remember if he said he went to college per se. I understand he went to the military and got out, and I don't know if he got a degree in something particular, but it's just, shit, I had a job that paid fucking big time bucks at one time. It was a brief stint, and I got a lot of shit from people, but it's what it is, man. It's just your determination. I think realistically, I believe in a thing where you work really hard, and you're determined to advance yourself. You don't play politics at the gig, and hopefully you can, people see that.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
you're a hard worker.
I would agree with you with one caveat, and that's the factor that you can't force, and that's being at the right place at the right time. You can work as hard as you want, you can be as dedicated as you want, but there's that factor of luck, being at the right place at the right time that you cannot force.
I agree.
Well, hold on.
The job I got with the Bucks was a luck gig. I had a solid going into it. A buddy recommended me for it, and that's the way it panned out. And it was nice, man. It was a good 4 months, and it came to an end. And luckily that job, when I look back on it, everything happens for a reason. Kind of, at least that's the way I look at things. It set me up for this gig. It doesn't pay as much, but it pays a whole lot more than the gig I had before when I was making $16 an hour, working for a private PC company. And go from $16 to 40, and then you trim it down to 25. Well, you're still doing okay. Doing a whole lot better than you did when at 16.
I was just gonna say that luck is where preparation and opportunity meet. There's more to luck than just being lucky. You have to have prepared for it. You have to have worked at some point in the future. You have to have kept your options open so that when this option comes along, this opportunity, you are able to seize it. It's like, yeah, there is, like you said, there is a level of time, like a certain aspect of timing to it. Like some people just flat out never get an opportunity, even though they're more than capable of taking one if it ever came along. But also, how many opportunities has that individual missed because they weren't prepared for that one when the opportunity did come along? And like, how many opportunities have people missed because they weren't prepared? So yeah, there is a level of aspect, but at no point should anybody think that the luck aspect means you don't have to prepare. And actually, I think it's quite the opposite. The fact that there is a luck aspect means that you have to be prepared all the time, so that when luck does shine on you and that opportunity comes your way, you are able to grasp it and seize it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. As well as sometimes the opportunity means that you need to move. That regardless of your persistence and your education, that sometimes the opportunity where you're geographically at is not going to happen. You must move to where people they want people like you.
Yeah. And okay, maybe that's your opportunity. Maybe that is the luck. Maybe that's the luck that you're making for yourself. If you don't have some money saved up, you can't go. You have not prepared because you literally cannot move because you don't have the cash for it. Now, I personally think if you really wanted to, you could figure it out, but it's just easier if you have something socked away for a rainy day. Or like if you have a broad skill set so that you don't have to find this one perfect opportunity to allow you to move somewhere. It's like it could be any number of opportunities. It's like I said, you can't just sit back on your heels and say, well, when the opportunity comes, then I'll work for it. And if it never comes, then it's not worth anything. You have to work before the opportunity.
Yeah, some people, they want to, like being fed grapes in a chair, they want to be fed the golden opportunities.
Yeah.
It's like life doesn't work that way. I mean, you have to be, like you said, you have to prepare yourself so that when you see, gee, there's a grape out there, you can grab it yourself. You don't have to wait for somebody to feed it to you. You go out there and grab it.
I agree.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing with me is, I'll tell you, is that I've had some shitty bosses that I couldn't stand working for, and when they like start criticizing your work, that's one thing about me is you can joke on me all day, work, just fucking bagging on me and give me shit. But when you start criticizing my work that I do, I'm like, no, dude, you're back to fuck up there. I put all my name and my pride and everything I do when I do work. Despise how much I don't like you as a manager, and you can't take it away from me. All you can do is give me shit. But if you're gonna give me shit and criticize my work, then we're gonna have a discussion. I don't think you're gonna like it. And I got a plane flying over.
Yeah.
Edge, you're in San Antonio, right? Well, actually, before you answer that, does anybody have any more topic about luck that they want to talk about?
Nope.
All right, good. Oh, one last thing. Andrew Luck's not that good a quarterback. All right, done with Luck. So,
Andrew Luck's not that good of a quarterback.
hell no. Gosh. Okay, Brandon Whedon, my boy from OSU, one of the best quarterbacks we've ever had, beat Andrew Luck at his own game during the Fiesta Bowl a couple years ago. Whatever. Andrew Luck can go suck dick. Anyway, moving on. Edge, what are your opinions about El Paso?
Well, I thought you just had like an issue with the Colts or something.
El Paso?
Oh, no, I don't follow professional football. Wait,
Repeat.
I did follow the Vikings for a little bit because I like Andrew, or I like Peterson, but I don't even know who anymore.
Oh, so you like a child beater?
Repeat your
I liked
question.
him before that, I have no comment about his current nonsense. Mostly I liked him because I like Brett Favre. I think he's just a real man's man, like
Barbara.
Harper. Here's the deal. He started 300 games consecutively. I don't care how much money you're getting paid. You're still working. You're still running out. See you, Dano.
Take your dinner.
I'll say it's about Brett Favre. He got away with a lot of things, Mike.
Oh, I like Brett Favre. Brett Favre used to go and slap someone in the face after a play because he didn't like it, and then he'd run behind his fucking, his lineman, and, fucking run behind the line, and, because he'd start some shit he couldn't finish. I never cared for that.
All I know, okay, all that stuff may have happened. I didn't see any of it. All I saw Brett Favre was that he was old as heck, but he was still going out there and playing with guys half his age. And I think that's impressive. I don't know about
He was told to.
get away with stuff. I don't know about him.
No, I'm talking in his prime. But he was told to do it. He see him hanging it up because if you go up, if you hang it up while you're winning, that's the way to go in a lot of people's opinion. But he was told just keep playing until you can't play anymore, and that's happened to a lot of athletes in different genres of sports.
Emmitt Smith.
I can think a lot of boxers. They should have hung that up.
Well, boxing and being a quarterback are completely different. Yeah, they both technically get hit, but it's like a boxer gets hit in 30 seconds as many times as a quarterback gets hit hard in half a season. Plus, one of them is wearing a helmet.
What was your initial question you asked me that I didn't get the answer?
Oh yeah, El Paso. What are your opinions of El Paso? Because
I think New Mexico can have it.
Mexico can have it.
Yeah, because dude, I've been. My wife's from El Paso, and I've been to El Paso, and I think it's a nice town. It's real cool. I like that. I living in Laredo for 9 years in border town. El Paso's a whole lot nicer than Laredo. But when you're in Texas, like you're in Oklahoma, you can feel like the other Okies around you. In Texas, same kind of thing. You kind of know who's from Texas, who isn't, who kind of like they say, yeah, well, I live here, and you can kind of tell, where are you from though? And And when you're in El Paso, you don't get a Texas vibe. You get a New Mexico vibe. Like because they're so close. Because there's El Paso is as nice a city as it is. There's a whole lot more fun shit to do in New Mexico. The way it's set up, and because there's not a lot of culture there. So people that have a little money, want to go have fun with it, are gonna go, in Mexico and so on. They go skiing, and all kinds of stuff. So you don't get a Texas vibe. And that being said, it's just odd. It's weird when you're there. I've been there. I've driven through there a couple times. I've been there once for about 4 days. My wife wanted to go for Thanksgiving this year, and it looks like we're not going. Thank God. It's a fucking 9-hour drive from here.
So the most time you spent in El Paso is 4 days?
Mm-hmm.
So I've spent more time in El Paso than you have.
Yep.
My fiance lived in El Paso for about 6 months, working for a job that totally they misrepresented themselves. They were not what they told her she would. Or they did not tell her what they actually were doing, and then they didn't follow through on things they told her she was going to be doing or whatever. But I spent about a week and a half in El Paso.
Did you ever hit Chico's Tacos?
No, I did not.
That's a big El Paso thing. And you can run them. And you can somebody says, "Hey, well, yeah, I'm from El Paso," and you say Chico's Tacos, their eyes will light up like that. That's just a little shitty taco shack. They're not tacos. They're like flautas. Little corn rolled tortillas with meat in the middle, and it's just but that's a big thing. I guess when they're drunk and that's the 3 in the morning. That's the place to hit. But that's a big thing. Like my wife, I even had them delivered to me. I went there and ate the place. I'm like, can I get a
kind of like Crowell's West here in Green Bay. You just say Crowell's West, and a lot of people's eyes light out when they can't get back there for a milkshake. I should say malted milk and a butter burger.
Yeah, when I was there, I put a Facebook post. Chico's Tacos sucks. I bet you would give me shit.
Okay, so, but El Paso, when she was there, my fiance.
Was she in the service or?
What?
She in the service?
No, she was actually working for an interior design firm.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's like she was telling about how big and huge the base is. I almost drove across it one time. I don't know. But she kept on hearing stuff and stuff that the city government was putting out about how they're the safest city of their size in the nation and stuff like that. She was always saying about how safe it seemed to be and all this. And then it's I was talking to my uncle, who's a sheriff's deputy here, and he was telling me about how the stuff he's heard about El Paso, and it's super, super sketchy. And so I'm getting 2 completely different opinions on the same place. I really don't know who's to go, who's to trust.
I will tell you from a border town experience, living there for 9 years, and then having friends that still live in a border town. But people always say, "Oh, went to my buddy's wedding," and then I'm like, "Oh, be careful, bro. Man, it's a good dude. Laredo is safe. El Paso is safe. Juarez is horrible, and so is Nuevo Laredo."
I'm driving down the interstate. I think it's I-10, and I'll be looking across this the valley, the Red River Valley, and it's I'm seeing these shacks, probably not more than a couple hundred yards. No, okay, no, 1,000, 1,500 yards, something like that. Right over there, and it's they look like a third world country. They look like some barrios in freaking Brazil, or some kind of just run down slum, in way South America. But it's right there, and I'm
well, when is it that you went to check this out? When is this that you went to check it? When did you have this experience?
Oh, 10 months ago. It was
here's the thing. When I was even a kid, people used to from San Antonio would drive up to Laredo, Texas, stay at a hotel there. They charter a bus. A lot of women would go, and sometimes they leave the men behind. Sometimes they bring them, and then they just go shopping in Mexico. They cross the bridge, on foot or on a charter bus, whatever, and then they go and sit there and drink margaritas and beer. The men would drink margaritas and beer all days. And the women would go shop and buy trinkets. That's when the market was there that you could to support it. and that's the way it's always been. That's why you went to Mexico, is to buy, expensive shit that was kind of crap, but it was foreign to you, and then people would buy it, and the women went out there, everything. The men would sit there, and it's 100 degrees outside, to stay in these tents and just drink cold beer, and so on. But what happened was is the narco terrorism there was many old rules that happened. That used to be in effect. One, you never, even if you were a badass, in Mexico, you never killed a federale. You never killed, you kept a low profile, even if you were a badass. And that's when all these big narco terrorist groups started bigger. They broke all the rules, saying we own you. They owned all the police, the local police and the federal police. And that's when they turned the game upside down. It's like, we don't care about your stupid market square you have. We don't care about that. All we care about is what we're doing. And back in the days to shake them down for money, but then they changed it to where, okay, sorry, we're going to kill these people, and that's the end of it. And that's what happened to all the border towns, and that's what killed all the commerce. The restaurants, the bars, everything was just, they literally assassinated the economy by doing that. So that's why when you look over there now, it was never real pretty, but it had its little niche that you're like, okay, well, this is different, and that's now it's just a wasteland, because there's nothing there to support it. There are no restaurants in that local area that attract people from the United States to come over, because it's so dangerous to go over there. Realistically, they recently had 3 people that they went to go visit their dad that lived in Mexico, and they identified their bodies, not too long ago. They got kidnapped and approached by police, because the police are that corrupt over there. They always have been, but back in the day, they used to murder people or kidnap them, and shit. And it just got so ridiculous that there's nothing there anymore for anybody. There's no reason to go into Mexico anymore, realistically. Back in the day, it was cheap medicine, alternatives to medicine you can go buy, without a prescription or a legal prescription, and so on and so on. There's all kinds of neat things to go there for, in general. Food, groceries in general sometimes, and
I remember being a little kid and like hearing about how, like, if somebody did something wrong or like was arrested or something, like they would always, like, it was always an option. Oh, they're going to go cross the border down to Mexico, so they're out of the U.S. It's like, no. People would be wanted for murder and be like, no, I'd rather be here than try and go down to Mexico to avoid it. It's like, I remember my freshman year of college, hearing about like some stuff in Mexico and thinking, man, this stuff is rough. Is this for real? And it was like, oh, there's like this drug cartel where that's like beheading people. Like now it's like,
well,
it's just like standard operating procedure for stuff you hear from Mexico now.
Well, the whole kidnapping, what they call in Spanish, sequestering.
Sequestering.
That's what they call it, that's what the sequestering or sequestrador, whatever they call it.
You can't just say the word sequestering with a Spanish accent and make it a Mexican word.
No, it's like I forget how it's pronounced, but that's what they call it, like kidnapping is sequester in Spanish, and no, I mean that was like more in Mexico City, to rich people, because that's a big city that has a lot of rich people. That they were doing that for as long as everybody can remember. But now it got into the border towns where they're like, well, fuck, instead of that whole like asking for $100,000 for some rich kid, if you can you ask for $4,000, and hopefully the family will pony up, like between all of them, all their relatives, get $4,000 up, and if they don't, you just kill them. I mean, there's a ranch in North Laredo. They found an actual lion on the ranch, and that old saying, feeding the Christians the lions. Well, if nobody paid up, the lion had a nice meal, and shit like that, But they just basically killed the whole concept of going to Mexico, because it just shows how greedy and the politics are behind fucking drugs and all that shit. That nobody's gonna do anything about it. And the old rules, the things that kept things sane. You never used to hear about beheadings and like it was nobody's business like it is today, where they just, they'll go and like kill 10 people on one given day in one city, and they'll behead them all and put them and post their heads on fucking whatever spike on a fucking highway just to make an example of them. And none of that shit ever happened back in the day. But it's just like they're playing that game, the narco terrorists. How big are they going to try to make example next week between the Sinaloa cartel and Zetas? It's just something that isn't going to go away until people don't address the issue that if the whole drug policy isn't working, and that's what's driving them, to make that kind of money, and firing up them to do this kind of crazy shit to people. Mind you, most people are Catholics too.
Stuff's out of control, man. Honestly, I think that people would be, I don't want to say more supportive. Yeah, screw it, I'll say it like that. I think people would be more supportive if we were sending troops down into Mexico to clean all that nonsense up. Or to at least, like, obviously you can't clean it up. They're indigenous people doing what they do. Although most of the population is against the 10% that's, like, doing all this to them. So you might be able to help them out a little bit.
Well, these people want to be saved at the same time, but they don't because of the way that they've been brought in, their upbringing, just learn to deal with this shit, and knowing that their voice doesn't really, their opinion, their voice isn't counted. Money talks, shit walks, and they've proven that over and over again, and that's what's killing that shit over there.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Money talks and shit walks, but it's like, shit. If we start sending battalions of, like, Marines and Army and Special Forces and shit like that, that's not shit, man.
Well, no. That will help.
I didn't say that's what you're implying. I'm just saying, like, that's not bullshit. That's not talk, man. That's like fucking action. That's shit, like, actually being followed through upon.
What will happen? What will happen though, from history's standpoint, in Mexico, what will happen is once you get, even if you were to get, Marines and Army or whatever to support some kind of narco-terrorism extermination, somebody else will take their place because it's a line of income that people are sort of accustomed to that you can't get rid of it. You can't. The only way you can get rid of of their source of income and their greed and their needs to commit atrocities on their own society, local societies and municipalities, is by cutting their resources, by stopping the drug penalties that we have here for offenders, or by legalizing it, because it's not working. It hasn't worked. It's obvious that the whole thing of busting people, I mean, I'm not for users at least, isn't working. And once it gets old and beat up and done, I mean, even then, I mean, people are transitioning to all kinds of fucking man-made drugs now, or prescription drugs.
That defeats my idea. I was gonna say, why don't we employ some of these, like, virus research labs or whatever, like all these, like, antiviral places. Like, okay, so we have, like, laboratories in the United States that are doing some, like, cutting-edge research on, like, viruses and stuff, like, help them, like, beat HIV. That, like, I've actually read so many things about viruses that are, like, full of, like, you could put DNA strands inside of the virus that will destroy an HIV, like, cell or whatever. They'll destroy, like, HIV or, like, cancer or whatever. I'm sorry, I think they took HIV, they stripped all its DNA out, they put these cancer-destroying DNA inside of it, and they let it loose inside of like a cancerous cell. And they literally did their virus thing. They went into cells, replaced the cell's DNA with the virus's DNA, which was actually this anti-cancer DNA, and just exploded. And then it's like it would just cause this giant chain reaction like viruses do.
Well, think about
why shouldn't we create a man-made disease specifically targeted at poppy or cacao, however you pronounce that they make cocaine out of? It's like we could literally make these viruses, we can make these diseases, and we could destroy these plants entirely. But then, like you said, we would just switch to meth and other man-made stuff, so it wouldn't matter. But okay, here's a better thought. yeah, like what you said, if you go in and we just basically do like a smash and grab base, where we just run in there, we pound them hard for a couple of years, we take out all the current narco terrorists, and then we just leave. Then, like, what happens? You just have a power vacuum, and somebody steps in to fill the
Because
void.
I mean, they know that there's a never-ending supply of money. I mean, we're not talking like $1 million. We're talking hundreds of million, upwards of $1 billion of money that you're talking about that supplies, all these people food for these low lives that don't have anyone on their life, and they're like, okay, well, you start off as like some pissant fucking watch guy, fucking lookout to transition to, maybe a fucking armed guard and maybe assassin, whatever, and they have that infinite supply of people that they're employing and that the whole country, for not the whole, but a good deal of them are accustomed. Like, okay, other than that, they don't have a job. They're gonna be fucking, out doing something else. Or there's nothing else going on for them, and so somebody else will hold that lawyer.
Look at Japan.
Mm-hmm.
We fucking went into Japan, and now, granted, it's a different situation. They were like basically a functioning society that we went in and changed. They weren't like what I would call a dysfunctional society, like I would definitely call most of South African countries that are heavily either relied upon or controlled by the illegal drug trade. That's not a healthy society. It's like that's definitely a dysfunctional one, in my opinion. And of course, like Japan in the 40s was, I would consider, a healthily functioning society. They just had this idea at the top of we're going to go and we're going to colonize all these people around us. So it's like we went into a healthy, functioning society, but we fundamentally changed that society and we turned it into what it is today, and that is not really a world power militarily, but like definitely economically, technologically, everything but military and politics. Japan is a major, major world player,
Okay.
and
Well,
they
we
don't
we,
follow us anymore.
we never we never changed them. We just slowed them down. That's why Japan was better equipped. Their planes were made better. Everything was made. The Mitsubishi Zeros, they were made better. I mean, they made better products. They always have. And then you got to remember, I mean, I was born in '76, so fucking, in the early '80s, people started Japanese crap. Japanese sucks. And then you got to like the late '80s, and then people started saying, yeah, well, Taiwan sucks, China sucks. The Japanese makes good stuff. And they went from there. Nakamichi, all these big companies that were making, these fucking stellar products. Mitsubishi still through those years, and so on and so on. And they never got stopped. They just got slowed down, and they resumed what they did, like they always do.
Something like militarily wise, we destroyed them. It's like we not only beat the military, we made
we
it where they can't
left them. We left them with the ultimate resolve that that I'm sorry, you're done, and we had to show you. We had to use this bad, serious, devastation to show you our resolve, and I think you got it after the second bomb. And yeah, have we ever used it again? Nope.
Sure. So has there ever been a time where somebody's gone into a place or a situation, anything like anything analogous to what's in Mexico right now, and had anything but just a like a short review
Repeat
from
it
the
again.
problem? Okay, like has there ever been anything historically close to what Mexico is going through right now, where somebody went in and like changed it,
They
and
had
it didn't just come back soon?
no. The closest, no, but the closest thing, there's guys running for president, Colosio, and he drifted away from one of the biggest parties they have, the PRE or PRI, I forget which one it is. That's one of their main political parties they have, and he pissed off a lot of people at that party, and they assassinated him right before he's about to get elected. He was very close, yeah, and the polls were showing that he was probably going to get elected, and he was very passionate about Mexico, and he wanted to clean things up, and they assassinated him at a rally where he's walking through crowds and saying hi to everybody. It's a real shitty neighborhood where he should never been, kind of like JFK shit. And they'd walk up, put a fucking 38, snub revolver to his head and killed him. But no, because dude, that's there's an old saying in Mexico. You join, when you become president, you're poor, but you leave extremely rich because of the connections you have, because of the interests you secure. And it's just one of those things, man. That unfortunately nobody will ever have that kind of influence on. The only way it would happen is we absorb them. It's like a country where then there you could actually isolate things and change things because now you're part of this government. But dealing with them, and all you learn to do is just change the facets of how you deal with them, because they're never going to change. They live on corrupt politics. I mean, it's not to say our politics in general aren't corrupt, but theirs are blatantly in the light of day.
Yeah, I was going to say our politics aren't very good to begin with. Compared to theirs, it's more than night and day. Such a thing as possible.
You scare everybody off the chat?
No, I didn't scare anybody off the chat. I'm trying to get people to join in. Nope, some guy in Sandy's out there. He says, we wrote Japan's constitution after the war. Japan and Germany both put a lot of resources into engineering, otherwise in weapons development for the war's progression. Once they got going, though, they didn't have resources to continue that development process. They both fell behind while we didn't have to. While we did have to wherewithal, both fight and develop. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, I really wasn't talking about how we won the war. I mean, shoot, we beat Germany the same way that we beat the Russians. Honestly, we outspent them. We outbuilt them. Our economy dominated them. We just did it with Germany in the course of 4 years, and we did it with Russia over the course of...
Well, the Germans just came to collapse. I mean, they got old. We got, it just...
Well, we beat the German, like the Third Reich or whatever, collapsed because they were losing the war. And, well, I mean, when you have bad management, it can't withstand, it can't easily withstand, setbacks. And Hitler was about as bad a management as there is. He was crazy. And he was on some pretty rough stuff. He was on or something.
I think the brilliance behind Hitler, if you want to go there, is that he was so aggressive. They had no concept of how to deal with that kind of aggressive nature of his deployment.
Charismatic that people wanted to follow him because he was a very powerful personality.
Yep.
It's like, a lot of people are drawn to strong individuals. Like, they're drawn to characters. That's why we have heroes and villains and superheroes and stuff, because these characters are very powerful individuals, and people like that. They like to follow that. Heck, that's probably why Barack Obama got elected, because he's very charismatic. And Hitler was so charismatic, and he had a solution for your problem, no matter what it was. His solutions happened to be kill all the Jews, but that's not the point.
Barack Obama got elected initially because of the lack of shitty opposition. That's what's going to happen next time around in 2016. They're going to have to come with somebody that's it's not like, okay, we get behind this guy, we're pitching him. They need to get a real leader they're trying to pitch Mitt Romney. Nobody's ever going to put a Mormon in the White House. It's not going to happen. The Baptists have a strong...
No. Hold on. Why wouldn't they put a Mormon in the White House?
Because they won't. Because it's a bastard religion.
Yeah, but when JFK was the first Catholic put in the White House, and everybody thought that that was going to be the end of America because we had
And
a
he had
Catholic in the White House. Oh no! I mean,
he had
some
the,
people would say we have a Muslim in the White House that we haven't. Well,
he had to muscle his way in by getting the freaking mafia to get him in, because he was a Catholic, and a lot of people look down on that. As far as the Baptists have a big, for instance, Texas. I'll tell you, last two elections, presidential elections. Every metropolitan city, El Paso, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Laredo, San Antonio, all the metropolitan cities voted for Barack Obama, but he did not win the state. You know why? Because every little pissant town that surrounds the region voted for conservative, voted for Romney or voted for McCain, and that's why the last time that Texas has ever been won by a Democrat was Lyndon Baines Johnson. The last person to ever be elected as a senator to the White House was JFK. And it's just that's just the way it is. I mean, they had shitty people, and they're trying to shove them down your throat, and then they're trying to do this whole Cuban thing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a Democrat by any means, but I don't feel a lot of tugs at Republicans. I'm just kind of in the middle, trying to figure out which guy, and they come with these shitty candidates every time, and just like, wow, who do you really want to pick? And they're like trying the whole thing. Well, we need a Latino guy, or Ted Cruz, who's a Canuck initially, and he comes from
Canadian.
Yeah, when he renounced his Canadian citizenship recently, and he filed the paperwork to do it. But he's born in Canada.
Does that not mean that? Wait, he was born in Canada?
He's born in Canada. He's a Canuck.
Was he born in Canada to Canadian parents? Or to American parents?
Yes.
But
he was born in Canada. So he renounced his Canadian, his dual.
Hey, if somebody's willing to denounce the country they were born in to be American,
seek election,
whatever, it's like he's willing to go on record and say, yeah, even though I wasn't born here, even though he was born to American parents, so he was born in American citizenship.
He has dual citizenship, so he had American citizenship and Canadian.
Yeah, but if he renounced his Canadian citizenship, then it's like for American citizenship, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I no longer have a problem with that. Not that I did in the first place, but it's like now I definitely don't have a problem. I don't see why people see that as a bad thing. It's like he's saying, yeah, no, I would rather be known as 100% American.
I mean, keep it real. What's changed? I mean, people don't think you're a Canuck. You just know you're from there. There's many people that are born in Hawaii or Germany that are military brats all over the place. Because of, they're born in all kinds of places. That being said, I mean, why you're making a political statement by saying that? So I'm not gonna get into all that shit. But his Hispanic heritage is Cuban. Just like fucking the other dipshit, what's his name, out of Florida.
I don't know, I'm not from there.
Castro, no, his name is, what's that dude's name?
I don't think Castro's going to get voted into the White House.
No. What the hell am I thinking of that dude? Marco Rubio. He's another guy that,
Were we talking about him just now?
Second?
Weren't we talking about him the whole time? Rubio?
Well, no, we're talking about Cruz, Ted Cruz.
Oh, that's right.
Well, Marco Rubio, I mean, the thing about the RNC and their is they don't understand is that Hispanic folks, there's divisions within their communities. They don't just like, oh, we're all of Hispanic community, so we all have to support each other. No, they will not back up a Cuban. The Mexicans will not back up a Cuban candidate. The Cubans will not back up a Mexican candidate. The Puerto Ricans won't. It's just they have their own divisions and they don't agree with each other whatsoever.
Okay, so why would they vote against a subdivision of what the vast majority of us consider?
Because he's conservative.
And I know that they don't consider themselves completely Hispanic. Like that's the group they subscribe to. These are just small divisions within that group. They consider themselves as I'm a Cuban, I'm a Mexican, I'm a Puerto Rican, I'm a whatever.
Because okay, I'll tell you from my
They just
perspective.
know that everybody else lumps them in together. Why would they vote for somebody who is lumped into that same group as them? Like, why would they vote against that guy, but then all of them vote together for a white person or a black person?
Because Cubans, when they came, when initially in the early '80s, when they were coming into the United States, they were offered, I forget what the status was. What's it called? Political refugees or something like that. And yeah, so they cruised their boats and they got here. And, obviously wanted to escape the horrible status in Cuba, but yet, and so when they were done that, a lot of them were shown, at least in my opinion, they were shown that, okay, if you work hard, the whole American thing, and you vote conservative, Republican, you'll get, you will aspire in the community and make a living for yourself. Some didn't, some did, and the majority who did influenced all other people saying, like, okay, and that's the way the Cubans vote, is they vote mainly conservative. Now a lot of Mexicans don't vote conservative; they vote Democrat or liberal, and they disagree with each other, and like, okay, also the fact that they're getting kicked out there.
Why do they vote liberal so often?
Because of dude, I mean, it's a long story. I don't want to get into it, but realistically, I mean, the short of it is that in the '80s, growing up, as a Hispanic person or Mexican person, just in general, Mexican, you didn't have a career with a Hispanic last name at anything that was in the media. You couldn't do anything. I mean, you could own business, of course, and build your business, construction, whatever, and this and that, whatever it is you did. But like in the media spotlight, there were very. I mean, I'm just kind of trying to narrate this real quickly. Is that there were like in the media, there's very few people that had Spanish last names. If they did, they changed them. Now it's kind of crazy because like now everybody's like, I'm Fernando Demandez or Demand Fernandez, and everybody has a Spanish last name. They're all proud of it now. But it was just looked down upon because they're like, okay, these are second-class citizens, and they just accepted it. And then now that they saw the effect of the Hispanic vote, mainly the Mexican vote, nevertheless, not the Cuban, not the Puerto Rican vote, but the Mexican vote, and they call it the Hispanic vote to be proper, is they saw that they made an impact in the last two elections, and now that's what they're trying to go after. But they understand that is when you grew up in those times, you're always kind of like, okay, you're okay with us, but you're only okay to a certain extent, and then you want us to take you in now, and it's different now. Well, we really want you. Like, well, no, I remember the times when you guys shit all over us, and you never cared, but you give a shit what we said, and you never, your vote counted, mind you, but you never really tried to get our vote, and then now somebody else is, and the Republicans are really trying to get that in, trying to get that vote, because how it impacted the last two elections. And that's the way it was. I mean, the people knew their place, and things have changed. Now there's a lot more people in politics that are of many ethnicities, but that are impacting where it's just not being, it's not being ruled by, Caucasian people, if you will. And it's changed the game, and the Republicans are really are really late catching up with that on how to deal with it.
So it's just the Republicans flat out let a good opportunity slide by not including the Mexicans and the Democrats, and especially the liberals, just jumped on that bandwagon first, and so they're still kind of loyal to them.
In general, I mean, the conservatives,
would that be like a super simplification of it?
Exactly. I mean, for the most part, they never saw them as, they don't vote anyway, or at least they don't vote for us. So what's the point of going out there of trying to get them, to vote for us, because they like, the stereotypical Republican. Okay, not everybody listens to this chat, but the stereotypical Republican standpoint is like, well, we're not going to vote for us anyway because we don't cater to people on food stamps and all kinds of shit, and subsidies and government subsidies, so we can't expect them to want to vote for us anyway. And Mitt Romney made that worse by making a statement he did that one time, that include a whole lot more people than minorities in general.
Well, where he said that 48% of the people out there aren't going to vote for me anyway, so I don't care about them.
Yeah, pretty much. But that was
Sure, that's the same opinion. It's like 48% of the people out there freaking hate me anyway because I have an R behind my name instead of a D. And it's like it doesn't matter what he says, they're never going to vote for him.
It's a little more complex than that because he didn't know when he made that statement, because he didn't do his research, that he was including veterans that are on disabilities and a lot of other people that aren't just milking the system. He was basically trying to say, like, people that are milking the system are going to vote for me. And when he found out that actually, the total scope of it isn't just those people you mentioned aren't just leeches on system or people that are on subsidies, that you're including veterans that are also getting some of these benefits as well, and that's a bit of in the ass. It was pretty bad because he made that clear and cut there. I'm really trying to get the people with money to vote for me to secure your interest.
Well, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was
I really wasn't that surprised when Obama won his first election, but I was really surprised and disappointed when he won that second one.
Dude, I mean, they have to come up with some serious candidates that don't sound like that are up to date. Somebody, I mean, that can do something with themselves and have a strong message and deliver their promises. And then I'd vote for somebody like that, but it's just hard because of McCain. He brought in Sarah Palin, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And then I don't care if anybody tries to defend her. I'm like, come on now, that's you're just pissing.
Okay, honestly, it's like I was not even old enough to vote yet, but it's like I remember kind of like following it a little bit. What was so wrong about the whole Palin? It's like most of the stuff I heard about her was taking something she said way out of context.
No.
And hardly anything about her actual stance on anything. It was just ad hominem attack at her personality. That
Sarah Palin was the biggest insult on the United States of any candidate should ever be put in that position. It's that whole situation of people saying, like, I'm the best candidate for the job, but you mean it. Your resume backs it up, and this and that. You got everything. She's a one-time elected governor that tried to get it, and she had no concept of civics, no background civics. People were like, well, that's what I like. And the whole people, that's what I like. I like somebody who knows me, because I don't like that shit either. And like, no, these are people that are gonna hold a potential seat to being a president. And I don't want to get in the whole well, look at Barack Obama shit, but in general. The thing is, you have to be prepared for that job. It's like somebody it's like, oh, we need a chick to get in here, and they picked her. Whatever, she's attractive. She can speak well when she had some good moments where she spoke well. But whenever she's questioning civics or anything that has to do with things you need to know about the government, the way it functions, she was a lost cause. And then they're like, why is person is at this platform where it's being presented to the people as a potential leader of the country? If McCain at 70-something years old when he was trying to get elected has with skin cancer issues, could possibly have the keys to the government, and she I mean that's the thing when in Alaska she got elected on that whole all shucks and I betcha and Mama Grizzly stuff and these little folky folklore, expressions that she got the attention of these people.
Small populations, you can get away with that stuff.
Exactly, but it belittled everybody that saw it, even the Republican national, the Republicans. They're like, oh God, are you serious? This is the person we're gonna elect. And there's still some people or will sit there and back her up 100% to this day, saying like, well, I prefer over blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, but I at least want somebody that knows the fucking job and knows what the hell's going on with at least civics. I mean, better than me. I mean, shit. Yeah, fuck you. I was like, I look at her. I was like, God damn, I could do that. obviously with my civics background and my shit that because I was into politics like 2006 to like shit. I think I gave up in 2010. I said I'm done with this shit. I did it for too long, and I was like I'm just done with this shit. What I learned is like war games and playing tic tac toe. At the end of it, it equals 0 because nobody wins.
Oh, I remember that show. With the what's his name? Broadway star.
Matthew Broderick.
Monty Broderick.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the way it ended. It was I got so sick of listening. I used to watch like CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC from 6 o'clock to like 11 o'clock in the evening. Watching all the different shows that they had, and it's like fucking, it's ridiculous, man. All a bunch of waste of time. But I mean, I got educated on like what's going on, different players in the game. All the senators I know, it's ridiculous. I have conversations with people like, yeah, this senator. I remember all the senators from all the states and all the fucking congressmen, and yeah, because I was that heavily interested in educating them. I was in a boredom. I've always been that way though. I just need to absorb information, and that's what YouTube's been fun to me doing that for the most part till you get stagnant.
Yeah, no,
But
I definitely noticed that. You can just absorb information like a sponge with no end until you've absorbed basically all of the information you care to find that you've been able to find. And then it's like, what do I do now?
or it's new or different, yeah.
Funny, I got into guns like, almost 2 years ago. I went to Thanksgiving with my fiance and her family. And her uncle had an AR-15 and an XD9. And I'd like been like pro gun before then, but it's like I was just one of those like, oh yeah, no, I like guns. Couldn't tell you fucking anything about them. It's like I was that Elmer Fudd guy. Not that I was like everybody needs a double-barreled shotgun or nothing else, but it's like I just liked guns. And I knew that I liked guns, but that was about where my knowledge ended. And then it's like I went out and I shot that AR and I liked it, and I shot that XD9 and I liked it. And it's like that night I was on my phone on the internet like looking up XDMs because I was like, I have to get me something. And from there it's like it was a couple days before I just did a search on YouTube for like an XDM 3.8 compact I was really looking at, and I still think it's a great gun today. And I actually came across Rack Veteran 8888 video about the gun, and not fancy video about it, and I was like, I mean, it's just been a downhill slide from there. And it's like now I've watched like so many millions of hours of YouTube videos about guns and shit, like not the least of which have been in these damn chats. And it's just like when I think about all that I've learned just about guns in the last year and a half, it's like I said, I like really got into it in about the beginning of December of 2012. Yeah, that was a great time to get into it. Learn a lot about the laws of guns real fast, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all the shit that I've fucking learned about the laws and the legalities and the messed up fucking legal system around guns, and then just all the things that are like kind of peripheral or satellite to that I've learned about, and just all the different fucking types of guns and shit that I've learned about, like all the things that I've learned related to this one discipline over the last 18 months is just, honestly, it surprises me.
No, I mean, I've been doing this 2010, doing my research, and that's why a lot of it is talking to people and then watching videos too. That's educated me on different things and aspects I want to learn about guns. So I started off with my buddy shooting, and 6 months later, I was fixing his gun, his 1911, and he's going to try to get me into it. Now I have to do a comment. I want to comment on the gun channel from Sandy. Okay. Biden, first of all, I'm not a fan of Biden. I think he's a fucking idiot sometimes too. But Biden has been around the system long enough, and I'm not a fan of career politicians either. But he at least I mean, not trying to back him up, not trying to defend him, but compared to Sarah Palin, he basically put kid gloves on her in that debate, and it was, it's like, good lord, dude, she couldn't even fucking pronounce his name, without saying, calling him Joe. It got really, really bad. The compare the two, he at least, okay, he's a dumbass. He puts his foot in his mouth all the time. He is a career politician, but at least he knows his shit because he's been there long enough to know about it. I mean, at least from the civic standpoint and knowing his stuff, she was just like, it's ridiculous, dude. And this isn't things that from a movie or whatever. This is stuff that's been backed up by people that are running the campaign. Even the person who's running McCain's campaign, that they said that they couldn't deal with it. I mean, it was run amok. And then I was like, so, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to have a long discussion about arguing about that. And I'm not going to defend, Biden, but comparing Biden to her, man, that is ridiculous. Anybody who supports Sarah Palin, dude, I mean, I'm sorry, dude. That's your own business. And Hillary, I hope she doesn't get elected, but she's probably going to be their candidate. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a Democrat. Definitely not a conservative per se, but I'm just in the middle. I feel like a libertarian, or just trying to find the best solution. I don't like the parties. The parties suck. They don't suit anybody anymore. And that's why the Republican Party, I was talking about the whole, it's going to be taken over by the Tea Party, or it's going to be overthrown, or that people are losing faith in the Republican Party and the RNC because they don't feel they have a candidate, and so on. I just don't agree with any of it, man. Same thing with the Democrats. I don't know Biden's record to sit there and quote what he's done or what bills he's passed and whatnot he has done. I'm not. I never really researched them. I was actually going for, back in the day, I forget what his name was. It ended up having a family affair. But it is what it is, man. You got to deal with it, and hopefully this election, they'll have the RNC may not come with a candidate to, putting in office, instead of having to deal with settling for somebody. Looks like Romney wants another crack at it.
Does he?
That's the word that he's saying, that he wants another crack at it. Usually, the phase it goes, like when McCain got beat twice by George Bush, the two times he wanted it, and in the primaries, he got it the third time. Same thing with Romney. He got beat twice in primaries and then got elected the third time, or as far as the primary candidate. So I don't know. You're talking about, people talking about Christie wants to get in.
Dude, Christie will never get in. I'm sorry.
It's a real bad attitude.
The only way that Christie will ever get elected, he's as big a fucking liberal as half of the fucking Democratic Party. Christie's a big fat fuck, and that's all there is to it.
I can't disagree with that.
That's all there is to it. Shit. What was that, like, fucking traffic jam affair bullshit? It's like he caused a traffic jam on some day because somebody, like, beat him in an election or something.
I forget what it was. It was a turnpike or something they had going over there.
It's like
Rick Perry's not taking an election either in Texas for governor, so they're saying that Rick Perry might throw it in again. He's looking to be president again.
No, Hillary will never be elected president. I don't even know if she'll win the primary. Everybody always says, "Oh, Hillary this, Hillary that." I'm like, no, there's no fucking way.
Nobody wants another Bush, honestly, if Jeb Bush was to run, I'd maybe support him because he's a smart motherfucker. I like Jeb Bush, But that's another person we're talking about that might get in to it as well. You never know. I mean, George Bush has made several comments about Jeb Bush, possibly, getting in there. I'll be back.
What's up, bitch?
What's going on, man?
Not much.
Should have screened people coming in.
You're screening people coming in?
Obviously not.
Oh, fuck you.
What are you up to, Chris?
Not much. I am on my way home. Tomorrow I will be smelting some lead.
Dude, don't let ballistic fucking expansion suck you into that nonsense.
Too late. I got the equipment. It's too late. I already have the equipment. I'm ready to go.
Damn it.
And besides, it's gonna, I don't know. Bullets is like the last few things that's keeping my cost up. I'm buying like $50 worth of bullets every couple of weeks.
I will say it though, it's like, I can't imagine how much money you can save over your lifetime by smelting bullets. They're smelting to pick out the mine. Yeah, get very good plated ones if you smelt them yourself, but I mean, outside of that, fucking hell.
I'm sorry, you're cutting out, bro.
You'll save a lot of money smelting,
Yes.
but the quality of the plating goes way down.
What do you mean?
You don't have any plating.
Well, yeah, I don't. Oh no, I don't have any copper jackets, so I'm gonna treat it as lead bullets, and I will.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but I've been shooting I buy lead bullets. I've actually been buying mostly lead bullets lately, and my results have been fairly good. It's I've been able to shoot them about 100 yards, not a problem.
Yeah, I've been shooting 38s, haven't you?
I've been shooting 38s, 357s, and 9s.
Are the 38 caliber rounds close enough to 9mm that you can interchange them?
By a hundredth of an inch, a 9mm is normally 356. A 357 357 38 special is 350 is mostly 357 358, preferably 358.
Yeah, but if they're 358s, then they're actually a 1,000 bigger than the hole, so they actually have a squeeze fit, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But they're not interchangeable. I mean, the thing is, you can put a 9mm bullet in a 38 special barrel, and you'll get you'll have a little bit of a performance suffer because of the gas pressure leakage. Even by that small amount of space, space you got left, but you cannot put a 38 special bullet on a 9mm. That's asking for a squib.
That sucks that they're that close, but they're still not interchangeable.
Yeah. You need a hot round, and even then, that's risky. I do have the sizing dies to squeeze either bullet and size each bullet the way I want to. The thing is the grainage is the grain is also what matters. You have to have the right weight.
Ass for it. Shoot out some 117 grain 9mm rounds.
17 grain.
117 grain.
Yeah, 117. Yeah.
Are those 151 grains? Ooh. Shooting weird loads. No one knows what you're doing. What's these 137 grain 9mm rounds? Wow.
I'm not. Well, I don't know. I look at the load data, and I don't see. Most of the weights are set. I like to stay with set weights anyway. So.
Chat DV said once you start smelting lead for too long, you'll be trying to make gunpowder out of gasoline, iron filings, and bananas.
I'm not that crazy. And I've just bought like 8 pounds of powder last night, so I'm not gonna. I don't need to make. I don't need to make gunpowder. That powder's gonna last me a year, or thousands of rounds.
Is it like actual good pistol powder, or did you have to find another slow burning powder?
Actually, no, no. First of all, I was lucky enough to find what they call this bullseye pistol powder, very fast pistol powder. I bought 2 pounds of that. I bought a pound of like slower burning shotgun powder, which I'm using for 30 Special 357 Magnum, and I found shotgun powder that I'm also using a 9mm that does work, so it's fairly fast powder. And the one I bought is specifically pistol powder.
So you're using, is that the same slow powder you got when you first started reloading? You're using
No. This is much better. I was able to procure a lot of good fast powders lately, so
Okay.
that's why I am able to do the 9mm now, because I'm using fast powder. I was able to find some fast powders.
You mean I can't shoot a rifle powder out of my semi-automatic?
No, you cannot.
I don't
You will
believe you.
try it. Blow up your gun.
Would it really blow up my gun?
Yeah, the pressure. Too much. You know, if not enough pressure to room to. And then if not enough pressure, it's either going to do two things. It's going to either blow up your gun, or it's going to fail. It's going to fail to rack your slide, and you will end up with a squib. Or you'll end up with a squib. So
Yeah, and then the squib blows up your gun. So it's like you're either gonna blow up your gun or you're gonna blow up your gun. But I'm thinking,
if you notice the squib before you fire another round, you'll be able to just you'll have to just
yeah, just do a tap
push out
back
that.
train and clear that squib out so you can just do another round.
No, I don't recommend
that.
tap
Clear
back.
the squib? What?
No, so
like,
don't.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was gonna say, in my way of in my mind, it sounds like a slow burning powder. Outside of the squib, there really wouldn't be that big of a problem because like the powder burns slow, kind of like a low pressure. So going down the barrel pretty slow, like something like the barrel shoots up, fly.
It's actually the other way around. Slow burning powder creates more pressure because it builds up a lot of while it's still burning inside the casing. It's
So
producing that pressure as it goes. Fast burning powder
for instance,
will eject the bullet.
So a slow burning
Fast burning powder will.
a slow burning powder creates more pressure. It just takes much longer to do. Whereas a fast burning powder creates less overall pressure, but it does it that fast.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because fast burning powder will push out. It'll be fast. It'll push out that bullet out of your gun before before it builds up any pressure. So.
Huh.
It's all about space. It's all about space in the casing. Space in the casing. You want something that has, you want a slower burning powder in a casing that has a lot more room. And you need fast burning powder in a casing that has a lot less room.
What would happen if I took my 7.62 by 54R and just started filling it full of like super fast stuff?
Filling it with what?
Right? With like some really hot pistol powder. Or like a 300 windbag with like a huge case. And I just filled it full of like pistol powder.
You're gonna. I'm not. I'm not. At the. You can press. He can answer.
What if I took a bullet or like a cartridge with a lot of case capacity And right on top of the primer, I put pistol powder, but then like the rest of the 80% of that capacity was a slow burning powder. So it's like the fast burning powder would burn very quickly, push the bullet out of the case and start it traveling down the barrel. Then the slow burning powder, and then like powers it out of the barrel. And he's gone. Yeah, this show. Wow.
You gonna lose everybody?
No, I'm still on. I was just thinking of theoretical experimental powder cocktails I could come up with. Oh, you didn't bring one for me?
There you go.
I was thinking, what if I got like some case with like a huge capacity, like a 300 Win Mag or something, and I like filled up the bottom 20% with like a pistol powder, and then like the remaining 80% with like a slower burning powder, so that when the primer goes off, it hits that pistol powder first, and it like expands rapidly, and it pushes that bullet out of the case and like starts it traveling down the barrel before the slow burning powder lights and then starts like burning slower and creating more volume and more pressure and then really rocketing that bullet right out of the barrel.
Well, I don't know too much about reloading them. I mean, I have the bench set here that I plan to reload on, but what I do know is that they take that shit pretty seriously because the UFC and Reloaded telling you, I'm telling you, do not follow my own recipe, do your own research, and disclaimers like crazy. Usually in their videos, I tell people like, do not. Um, just listen to what I have to say. It could be different depending on X amount of variables. So definitely do your own research. You know, get your book. You know, multiple books. Because I mean, I've been in reload talks with like Gun Geek and my buddy Matt, Murphy's Muskets, and they'll get into it, and not get into it, but they'll start talking. And it's like they're talking like 20 different bottles that they're using for X amount of uses. So, you know, I got this bottle for that, I got that bottle for this. You know, I got this and that, and it's like they're talking like using engine oils. You know,
Yeah,
it's pretty out there. So what's your carry gun for today?
Oh, okay. My carry gun for today, same carry gun I always have. Full size M&P.
Huh.
Yeah, I was listening to that carry gun chat today. And you know, I actually came up with my own top 5. See, my top 5 starts off with a 3-way tie for number 1 at a Glock 26 / M&P 9C / like XDM compact or like XD subcompact, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically all of them have upwards of 99.9% reliability. They all share magazines, and they all have the same like literally the advantage of one is the advantage of the other. So really, if you're gonna say this one, like any of those three are number one because of this, then you have to say that all three of them are number one because all three of them, or four of them, or whatever, have the same advantage. And then I had number two is the XDS because you can get it in a 4-inch barrel or a 45 or a 45 4-inch barrel if you want. And then my number three was the M&P Shield because it's basically an XDS except you can't get it in a 4-inch barrel. So it's like a half step below the XDS because I really don't consider the grip safety to be a real issue. You know, I was actually thinking about this. People say that they don't like the grip safeties on the XDS because, like, oh, well, if I grab it wrong and I shoot it, it won't work. Like, well, what happens if you grab a Glock wrong when you shoot? You'll limp wrist it and it won't work. So it's like if your argument of why I don't like this gun is if I hold it wrong, it won't work. Well, then you have to level that same argument against the Glock because if you don't hold that right, it won't work either.
That doesn't make much sense to me either, as far as that, because I mean, you're gonna put your hand, for the most part, on the grip, where it's centered, and that's the way it is. Even if it, I mean, I understand we're talking about it could be offset, or you're grabbing for it, or switching hands or some situation, but I don't feel that shit either. No, grip safeties don't have any. I don't have any problem with them.
I'm sorry, what was that last part?
The grip safeties, I don't have a problem with them at all. We talked about it in that chat too. Is like, because 1911s, most people never heard of a grip safety failing in 1911. If they do fail, they fail to not not disable the gun, but to not function as they should, to where they're supposed to disable the gun from firing. If it's usually like it gets shaved off enough, the part's not working, then it doesn't. I don't know. The XDs are a different animal. They're striker fired. But in 1911, if it doesn't function, it usually doesn't disable you from firing the gun. It just lets you do it freely without the safety working.
If anything, it fails on.
Mm-hmm.
It fails and keeps the gun
firing
functional more than it should.
Well, because
I guess
now you don't
fail. That's the way I want it to fail.
Yeah. Now you don't have that thing, where you say, well, the gun cannot fire unless your hand's on the gun. And I had a gun that had it, but the guy who owned it before me, about at a gun show, disabled it intentionally. I think he said at the race, he put a lot of little extras on that gun. He also disabled the plunger, the Series 80 plunger. He had it running a Series 70.
I don't even know what that would do.
That's 1911 crap.
Like you said, you walked into, like, you're listening to your buddies talking about reloading, and it was just way over your head.
No. Well, the terminology. I understood.
Like real in-depth technical stuff. Oh, use this powder for this and that powder for that. And it's like just a little too much, a little too fast.
The nomenclature and this and that, what's going on with it. It's like, well, you hear them going on and like, it's like, damn, dude, I'm just gonna let you talk because you just don't have the experience. But I've seen like mechanics talk about different oils and so on and parts and shortcuts that they come up with. Two true reloaders were talking and they were finishing each other's sentences, and that's the
that's so cute. Did they go and like get coffee afterwards?
Yes, they did. They went to a bathhouse in New Skokie.
But it's not just to like 1911s or reloading. It's like you have two people who are really well versed in any one subject, they can do that stuff all the time. But like 1911,
you get in the you get in the powder talk, and that's when they're like, yeah, I'm using I forget what the name was, squeeze it or what the hell was it? And
oh shoot, listen to two cattle ranchers talk. They'll talk about stalker this and feeder that, and they're talking about like calves and pairs and steers and heifers and cows and bulls and shit. And it's just like they just start going and going and going, and you're like, I know what a lot of those words mean, not enough of them to know what you're talking about.
That's why I work for the government. I mean, first fucking like 3 days there, I was listening to all these people talking acronyms like consistently. Yeah, we're gonna do this, we're that, and we got CRT, blah blah blah. We got this going on, and fucking computer-based terminology and so on. And I'm looking at them, and they're like completely talking. And I was like, and I asked my boss, I'm like, do you have like a book that has like these acronyms? And I can kind of try to study this a little bit because he started laughing. Yeah, he started laughing. He's all like, what's funny is me and one of my best friends that I worked with for a long time, we'll like have this conversation over the phone, and our wives know him now about all these years that we've, they've seen us work together, but, they literally can have a conversation and have at least 60% of the words or things that they're talking about are acronyms. And because that's what they use a shitload in the military, especially in logistics.
Yeah. Logistics in and of itself is just I was sending in my vote for Clint Eastwood and Chuck Norris as president.
Dude, I went to go check out that movie tonight, or today with my wife, that Gone Girl. That is a 2.5 hour long movie.
What?
Gone Girl.
Gone Girl?
Yeah, it's that movie about like where his wife disappears and they're trying to figure it out. Big investigation, like, husband, the wife disappears and he's all nonchalant about it. And Ben Affleck's in it.
Did he do it? I'm never gonna watch
it. No, but
you didn't do it?
No, she ends up being this complete cunt that frames him, like to even up because he's having an affair. So she's like trying to like fuck him over.
You ever seen a movie called Double Jeopardy?
Yeah, it's kind of similar to that to an extent.
I remember watching that on TV when I was like 8. And it's like the only thing I remember from that is if you're ever charged with a crime, you can't be charged with it again later.
It depends on the state you're in.
Really?
Yeah. Each state has their own laws with death penalties and double jeopardy and so on. But yeah, if you're charged and freed, no, I mean, there's been states where they've been cleared of all charges, and then they'll do we're gonna retry you again, because the political pressure's on them, and they'll retry them again. And some states have the double jeopardy deal where you can't do it. Like if you go and man up, you're gonna throw a case at them and spend millions of dollars, then that's it. Yeah. So where'd you buy that beard?
The beard? I grew it, I guess.
Did you get a discount?
Discount? Man, I've had this thing since I was like 15.
Yeah, take out your cap. If you're 15, you say, yeah, if you're 15, you got that beard, then take out that cap, shows that bald spot you got.
Dude, I don't have look. It's all there.
I knew a guy that was like in Laredo that had like a full-grown, big-ass, brushy beard, and he was like 17. And dude, at 17, he had a bald spot growing at the back. It was already, they used to call him bald bitch, and he got all pissed off. And
it is kind of like thin, just a little bit, like right at the very tip back here. But I had a friend back in high school who was like seriously balder than I am now when he was 17.
It happens.
And his hairline was like way back to here at the time, like before we even graduated high school. And, oh my gosh. That guy also ended up being a total douchebag. I don't fucking like him.
Yeah, I got my mom has on her side of the family is on Indian blood in them. So shit. I think my daughter has more arm hair than I do. My 10-year-old.
You say she's Italian?
No.
Have you ever heard the joke about?
Yeah, it's about the pacifier.
What?
About the pacifier?
Oh, I thought it was a nurse on a bottle. You got to put hair on them.
Yeah, hair on the nipple, so the baby will treat it.
That's disgusting. Funny, but disgusting.
No, she just gets it from not from me, because I mean, my mom, she doesn't shave herself, her legs or anything, because she's freaking that much Indian blood. So I'm pretty much the same way. My arms and my legs, for the most part. My father told me, it's like, yeah, when you hit 30, it'll all come in, the whole beard, and it'll all come together. Like, whatever, dude. I'm 38, and I still
Yeah.
can barely get this to
Wait.
connect.
Was he telling you that as you were 38?
No, I was like 22, 23, and I was trying to let it grow out a little bit, because they say if you let it grow out, it'll start, and you shave, it'll start cycling.
That's
And I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna.
I just thought you were telling me like, oh yeah, no, it's like my dad was telling me, oh hey, when you turn like 30 or so, it'll start to come in, and you were like, Dad, I'm 34.
Yeah.
Not coming in.
It's because no, he can grow full. He grew a full grown beard. The bulk of his life, when he was in his 20s, he can grow a beard. He's a combat vet. Back before combat vet, beards were sexy.
You don't have to be a combat vet for this beard to be sick.
There you go.
No, I actually had a beard before my brother could grow one, and he's like 2 years older than I am. And then I saw him last weekend for the first time in a couple of weeks, and he's got a beard now. He's like wearing it. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? You're stealing my look.
At the same time with the beard thing, I've seen those people that like you can tell they have to trim their chest hair. It's like at the neckline, because it'll come out wolfy. It'll start coming out of the t-shirt, and they have to trim that shit.
No, I shave all the way to here.
There you go.
I mean,
I don't have that problem either, so I'm like, there you go. That's one of the perks.
must be nice, man. Must be nice. I mean, shit, in the 70s, I wouldn't be able to, like, beat the women away with a stick, man. But, like, nowadays, dude, it's rough being, like, manly and hairy in today's society.
But the mohawk on the back end, that's sexy.
The mohawk just
You get you get the mohawk on your lower buttocks. That's sexy.
No, I'm just thinking. Did you ever see those? Gosh, I think it was like Schick or something. They were advertising this like razor, shaver, trimmer combo thing they had, and they had like Kate Upton, a couple other supermodels, and they were like, I like my man well groomed, and I like my man to be like well shaven. No one was like, I like my man to be completely hairless, and I'm like, you don't like men. You just want really butch lesbians, if that's what you want. It's like real men are not soft, they're not hairless, they don't like fucking moisturize. Real men go out and like chop down trees and like have facial hair and drink whiskey and curse. That's what real men do. You don't want any of those things. Don't act like it. I feel like I could arm wrestle every man that these women think is hot, like, in a row. Because they apparently have no testosterone.
Well, see, I don't like chicks that have more arm hair than me, but it's kind of hard to find these days, because, like I said, it just isn't happening there.
Well, I mean, that's really not a big deal for me. That's kind of like color, but there you go.
Yeah.
For me, that's really not a big deal. I mean,
But do you ever have to like comb it, put some mousse on it if you want to look right?
I guess I could spike it if I wanted to, but just comb it against the grain.
Yeah, I used to work with this guy. We talk about it all the time about when I was like in my mid-20s, and he'd be like about not having arm hair and this and that. I didn't grow underarm hair until I was like 21. And, yeah, seriously. And but we were talking about it once. He's like, yeah, and he's talking about the mohawk. Yeah, but I got the mohawk in the back. You know, I was like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, damn, dude. The nether.
I remember being in high school, there was guys who were like wrestlers or whatever, and they would actually shave the arm off, or they'd shave the hair off their arms,
Yeah,
like
hours.
3 or 4 days before a wrestling match. And the reason was so that after 3 or 4 days, they start to get like a stubble grow, and you can just rake it across a guy's face, like against the grain, and just like scratch his face all up.
I thought about that.
I mean, it wasn't prosthetics or anything. It was just as if, like when they're wrestling with a guy, if they ever got the opportunity to like drag their arm across his face, he would just grab and tear and scratch and just be really uncomfortable. I'm like, you guys are fucking.
Oh, any man that puts tights on and rolls around another man on the ground has their issues altogether.
Bud from Urban Cowboy with beers and drinking, not clean shaven. Island Survivor kid.
It's that old saying, why do cowboys have shit in their mustache?
I've never heard that saying yet.
They're looking for love in all the wrong places.
Fair enough.
There you go. Texas, Oklahoma, the two largest truck buying states in the United States.
They truck buying or truck finding?
Truck buying. I mean, that's why I just hear when they're making those deals like, oh, yes, this is a Texas, Oklahoma special. You know, because outside of Texas and Oklahoma, for the most part, people don't buy trucks just to have one for shits and grins. You know, just like that's your ride. You buy it because you have to get a truck or a van or something.
Dude, I love driving a truck. I think it's the best thing ever.
I loved when I had one. I just couldn't afford the gas down the road. I'm a 5.9
okay, yeah, no. It's like, yeah, sure, gas prices suck, but when it comes down to it, it's like, I don't have to hire a moving company. I don't have to, like, rent a van.
Well, because you're single. I did. My truck had 4x4 Dodge, a 2001 Dodge 1500, a Laramie package, 4x4 with 285s on it, on the tires, big tires.
How tall were those?
285s are tall. I don't remember the size exactly, but
like
the biggest ones you could put in that well. It came with them, and I just kept going. It was fucking $260 a tire. When I went to buy them, when I had to fucking replace them, I replaced them twice on that truck. And a big 5.9 V8 is the biggest engine they made.
Dude, 5.9 is a good sized engine.
It was before they made the Hemi, and the Hemi was like a 6-something. But before then, the 5.0 was the biggest engine they made for a gasoline 8-cylinder.
I've got a 04 Chevy Silverado 1500, and I have the 5.3 gas engine in it. I mean, I think that's the biggest gas engine they had at the time. Of course, now they have like these 6-7 liter diesels. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want one so bad.
They made the 10-cylinder Ford.
Oh, we had one of those.
Excursions.
We had one of those as a farm truck for a couple of years, and you could not kill it. You literally could not kill it. It was like the Glock of trucks or something, or like the AK or whatever. It's like there were so many times where like the radiator got full of like grass seed and it overheated and just died. So it came back like 30 minutes later and it fired right up. Like finally our freaking hired hands ran it completely dry of oil and then just drove it around until it finally seized up, like all 10 cylinders. And they're like, what's going on? And they're like, there's no oil in it. You murdered it.
No, I mean, the truck I want to get, I need to get, once my wife gets work and everything's situated again, a couple years down the road, I want to get...
I want to get a job so I can buy a truck. cheap.
Exactly. God damn it. No, dude. I remember the first time when I sold my truck, I bought a Honda. How about a Honda Accord? And then
No.
sold it, traded in. Right. Is
You know what? You can tell your friends, you can tell your family you bought a Honda Accord, but don't tell me you sold your truck by a Honda Accord.
Yeah, because I had no fucking job at the time. I mean, I bought that car when I had no job. Literally, I remember going and buying. Luckily, they didn't know that I was, I'd only been unemployed for like 2 weeks. I was like, anywhere I'm gonna go. I used to drive 3 miles to work and 3 miles back. 6 miles a day. So I was okay.
You ride a bike. You can
But
ride a bike for 3 miles, and
yeah,
like
I did actually. I did that once.
drive my truck.
I did that once, but driving my truck like 40, almost 50 miles a day to work and back, I was like, no, fuck that. So I need to get rid of it. The windows still were rolling up. The AC was cold on it, and it still had new tires. I didn't even finish paying for the tires when I fucking traded it in, and I got a good deal on it, and I bought an Accord. But as soon as I bought the Accord, I remember the first thing I did, I was like, I got home and I was like, I'm used to like putting my arms up on the tailgate like that. You're drinking a beer. Just fucking, I said, my tailgate's gone. I want my truck back.
What you tell me is when you got home, you got a cold beer and you put your arms up on your giant four-wheel vagina. It just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Like it just did the thing.
It's a beast of a truck, man. I love that truck.
You're like, oh, so this is what it feels like not having a Y chromosome. So now I know.
Yeah. And now the one I think I want to get is that Tundra, the crew cab.
No, please, no.
Well, it's gonna be a couple years from now. I need to get my fucking financial situation together again. I'm not upside down like anything, but I need to get things on the up and up. But I like that. I like that crew cab.
Dude, it's painful to buy a Ford before you buy a Toyota.
I was a Ford guy for a long time, and I don't have a problem buying a Ford.
Everybody makes mistakes. You could be a Ford guy for a little bit. You just have to repent.
The Raptor, I love the
know your mistake and then fix it. But that's still better than buying a Toyota.
No, I mean the truck I want. Honestly, I still in 2 years from now when I buy one, I'll probably look at an Avalanche. Now they don't make them anymore, but I still want. I love the Avalanche.
I'm sorry, the Avalanche is just. It's like, yeah, I get how some people can like really like it. It's just to me the concept of it is like not a truck, not an SUV. What is? It's not like an El Camino where it was like all the cool parts of the car plus a truck bed in the back.
Exactly, El Camino.
I have the bed space of an SUV.
Well, okay, I like the crew cab Silverados, but they don't have that little fin they got coming off the back edge of the tailgate, or not tailgate, the cab. That makes it look cooler. If I can get that, yeah. If I can get that going on, maybe. But to that, one of those, or gas is real cheap. Even gas has gone down. Like we got gas around $2.70 a gallon here, $2.70.
Nice. Yeah, we got
$2.75 a gallon. But diesel is still at fucking like $3.50 a gallon.
We're back at 2005, 2006 prices.
Well, here's the thing about diesel. You got to understand. Diesel nowadays, they crack diesel in half and make more gasoline out of it.
See, that's what I understood. I mean, I don't know that much about. I know a lot about oil, but gasoline. I always understood diesel is a byproduct of producing gasoline.
Yeah.
And that's why it's cheap.
Byproducts that they can now crack in half and make more gasoline out of it.
Yeah, but diesel is still $3.50 a gallon right now. Ethanol is the cheapest of all of them. It's cheaper than gasoline right now.
Well, yeah, but ethanol is not that good of a fuel. Well, I think that back. Ethanol is a good fuel if you use it correctly. Like everything but top fuels that run like straight nitrous, like everything but like top fuel dragsters like race cars, if you're above gasoline, you're running straight ethanol. You're either running ethanol mix or you're running straight ethanol, all the way until your top fuel drag system. And I think they run like ethanol and nitrous, or like just straight nitrous or something unbelievable like that. But the thing about ethanol is you have to get very high compression to get it. A compression that most, like that gasoline engines flat out do not do. Like they just flat out do not go that high. So when you put ethanol into a gasoline engine, it burns so inefficiently that it overcompensates the improvement of the fuel. Like it just burns so much inefficiently, it actually ends up becoming a worse result. Now, like I said, you can run, like they make engines that run off of straight ethanol, and they fucking rock because of car engine. But if you don't have race car engine compression, you're wasting fuel, you're wasting time and money.
Well, what's funny is Acapulco last Thanksgiving, the gas was a hell of a lot cheaper in Mexico than it was here. And not only that, the state runs the price on the fuel. The government runs the price on the fuel. Believe it or not, we're talking Mexico, right? That's fucked up. It was. That's the only thing I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. You can't pump your own gas in Mexico. They have to have a certified person go and do it. Believe it or not, and they have to pump your gas.
There's a state in
Washington State.
What state is it?
Washington State.
Okay, I was thinking Utah. But yeah, in Washington, apparently,
Yeah.
you pump your own gas. You have to have them tuned to pump for you, which is stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, and I mean, it's like the old days. You know, people are like, oh, self-serve or full service, and you pay the extra money for the full service. You don't see that much anymore.
But like that guy that comes out and pumps your gas in Washington, you also like check your fluid, and check your oil, and make sure you have enough like windshield wiper fluid and wipe off your windshield, or like does he just kind of come out and just kind of glare at you like most minimum wage people do, and then just pump your gas like it's nothing?
I just told him, now I'll run your motherfucker, you short me. I'll tell you right now. Done it before, ain't no shit, dude.
Come in there and stomp your ass.
Shit, dude, I took my dad's truck to the coast this year with the kids and family, and it was like halfway full. It's a Ford, you know. It's a Ford with it's not crew cab, but it has the quad doors or whatever. And yeah, and I remember I used to have a Ford F-150 in '97, and that thing only had like a 22-gallon tank on it. This fucker, dude, it was like almost 3/4 full, like between the half and 3/4. And I went to this gas station, fucking filled it up to top it off, and I fucking it was like fucking $60. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I'm like, that's what I used to fill up my truck. My truck used to be $80 back in the day to fill up my Dodge. And I was like, whatever. I was like, dude, I thought they were jipping us at the station, like they had like the fucking thing rigged or something. I was like, there's no way this thing took $60 worth of gasoline. It's like, whatever, dude. Cocksuckers.
So how big a tank does he have in it?
I don't know. It's a standard tank. It's like he bought a 2007. Got a really good deal on it. Had some high mileage on it, but it's like the person that owned it really babied it. So he ended up getting a good deal because that.
Highway miles?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly, but the '97 F-150 and some bitch like came out in front of me. I was borrowing it. It used to be my truck to give it back to him, and I gave it to him when I bought another one. And then some bitch came out of me in a Mercedes, and I thought, I T-boned her. I thought it was, but I caught like the end of it. I thought I was really like. Remember, I was surprised. I was like, oh, it's gonna hurt. You know, have you ever been in a bad accident before, or a bad crash?
I was in a rollover once. The State Highway Patrol, he said that we rolled the vehicle 5 times, but I remember 3 distinctly.
I rolled mine 7 back when I was 18. I'm going 70 miles an hour, but that's another story altogether.
Yeah.
But that time I was like, oh, it's gonna hurt, and then I just crossed my arms like that, like, oh fuck, and then bam, and no, we just kind of bounced off the edge, the back end of a Mercedes, and then I got up.
You were holding onto the steering wheel, and you thought, oh no, I'm gonna hit. So you took your hands off the steering wheel and just brought them in real close.
For the last second, yeah.
So that when you hit, you would slam forward into the steering wheel like a moron.
No, so if the bag pops open, it's not gonna fucking just go straight in my face. And luckily, what was weird is I popped. It has crumple zones here that cause the vehicle to initiate the airbags and drop the engine, depending on how severe the wreck is. I used to sell cars long way back in the day, so that's what I was anticipating. And no, then the airbag didn't even deploy at all. And I bounced her. No, it wasn't that bad. I was thinking I was gonna hit middle frame. I ended up hitting the back end of it and caving in that part pretty hard. And a brand new Mercedes. And then so I got on my truck. I'm like, oh fuck, let me on my truck. Look at the front end. It's not too bad. The fender's bent pretty hard. But then I circled around the truck, and as I looked around, I was gonna go talk to her. She fucking took off.
What?
Yeah, she took off, and I was like. I was expecting her to come chastise me and give me shit like, you fucking motherfucker, you hit my Mercedes, and blah, blah, blah. And she took off, fucking fled the scene. And I was like, oh shit, I was only going to pick up my daughter from my dad's house. It's like, he was a pretty rich neighborhood. And I was like, okay. And then I had to go file a fucking police report. My dad gave me a bunch of shit. But then he was pretty happy because he ended up getting a really nice truck over that old 97 F-150 that we bought brand new back in the day. And he's like, I ended up doing okay for like $250 premium deductible, whatever it was.
Well, all I can say is that 97 F-150 was made pretty solid and made pretty heavy, apparently. And if she's driving a Mercedes and it was her fault, wasn't it, since you T-boned her?
No, she cut off. She cut me, and she jumped right out in front of me, and that's when Dad was giving me shit. And I was like, what do you want me to say? Dude, I've been in a wreck in like shit, like at least 10 years. The last one I was in was like coming out of a bar once. A guy looked at me, it's just a fender tap, and he looked at me like, get on, homie. I was driving a Cadillac back then, back in my pimp days.
Well, if she was driving a Mercedes and got hit, and she didn't stand around and want all your information, the only thing I can think of is she doesn't have insurance on that car.
That or she was drunk.
Or that.
It was around 5 o'clock, about 6 o'clock in the afternoon. She could have been drinking.
So you pick up your daughter from school at 6 o'clock in the afternoon?
That's a bit early to drink.
There's some people that judge. Dude, I mean, I freaked out when I hung out with some person. A guy was a nurse once, and they go to those bars. Third shift bars.
I'm in college. It's never too early to drink. All right, what was your story, Edge?
No, those third shift bars for like those nurses that get off at fucking 6 in the morning. My dad used to tell me back in the day. He worked third shift for about like 4 years straight, and he'd get off work right at fucking 8 in the morning, and then he's there stopping by a convenience store buying a couple of talls, and then people look at him like, oh, this fucking dude's a drunk, It's like, no, he's just cracking open a couple after work, but he's just getting off at fucking 8 in the morning, Yeah. And that was just it, and people look at you weird because they're like, oh my god, especially in the 80s,
I know a guy one time. He was a year older than me. I think I was a freshman. No, I had to be a sophomore because he was 21, so he did my beard. But it's like we were just at like some random house party, and he had to work in the morning, but he was getting fucking blackout drunk anyway, having a good time. And this is a guy who gets blackout drunk pretty often, so it takes him a lot to do it, but he does it anyway. And he was like just getting blackout drunk or whatever, and we're having a good time at this party, and then it's like apparently, like, I'd gone home because I was tired of shit. But he just sat there at this party just having a good time until about 6 or 7, and he had to be at work at 8, so he just drove to a convenience store and bought a 24-pack of beer, blacked out drunk, and then drove to work.
Yeah, I've known some dudes that do that. Like, I'll just fucking shake it off, sleep it off at work or whatever, because they have one of those jobs where they're only on alert or have to be reactive every so often.
Well, I mean, he was a hired hand at a local ranch, local like farmer or whatever.
Well, he's gonna sweat it out.
Yeah. He was gonna black in at work. Already been there for a couple hours. It's like you can't just lay down during work. Not even lunch.
You can do that like in up to your 30s, after like 30 plus, you know, and you can't do that shit if you're gonna be there all day. I used to have a boss was like that. He's like, you know, like people like, I don't want to leave because I'm hungover. Like, nah, you can sweat out here, and as long as you can function, you're gonna work. And that's what he was. And I tell him all the time, why do you want to keep people here? But yeah, that's what he was. He's like, yeah, what? So they can figure out. And it's a shitty call to do that and show up to work.
Hey, my bad. That was Oregon that had that full service. Sorry.
It doesn't matter. I don't live in either. There's only two outcomes from being super hungover at work and like having to stay there. Either number one, you do it hungover, so when you're not hungover, you think, man, this job's not nearly as bad as when I'm hungover. It's like you get a new normal. Or number two, you realize I'm not going to be hungover at work anymore because it fucking sucks, and he won't let me leave. So I can't be hungover.
Fucking Friday, man. Dude, that party, Halloween party I went to, Jesus Christ, dude. I fucking crashed about 4 in the morning there, and he let me stay over, and I was like, he's let me in the past, because I was like, oh, fuck, dude. I woke up in the morning, and I was like, God damn, he's taking a hammer to my head. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, shit. I'm like, where's my gun? Oh, here's my gun. All right.
Where's my gun?
Yeah, I was like, I slept with a gun. I don't like putting the gun next to my head when I'm sleeping, but he has kids and shit in the house. Like, I don't want them walking in and fucking grabbing it. So I kept the gun, you know, next to the pillow and shit. And woke up, grabbed my shit, went to the gas station, bought a bottle of water, some Aleve. And it's like, I had to pick up the tacos.
Hey, at least you knew where you were. I've woken up before it, like just on a couch in a house that I've never been in before. I have to like walk outside, then walk down to the end of the street to figure out where the hell I am. Real. I've done that.
It's like waking up butt naked with a dog licking you in the face on the front lawn.
No, I've never done that. I've never like woke up naked outside before. That's something I haven't done. I don't know if I've ever woken up outside.
Well, think about here in Texas, like say, you know, you make the decision, like, oh, I don't want to drive, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna pull over real quick and just, you know, pass on this parking lot, and whatever. They'll still get you if a cop finds you. They'll get you and they'll get you for DUI because you have the tools in your possession.
Like I've heard before that like if the keys are anywhere even fucking close to at hand, much less like in your pocket or something, then they can get you for DUI.
Yeah.
If you're anywhere close to your vehicle and your keys to that vehicle are anywhere close to you, you're just dead.
When that person, well, it's just kind of, I understand because people don't want drunks loitering up lots and shit, but I mean, in my opinion, at least the guy made a smart decision saying, I don't need to be driving, and he pulled over in a parking lot to make that decision to, you know, avoid.
Like, I've never really been in that situation, so I don't really know how true that is. Like, for all I know, a cop could just walk up to you like, what the hell are you doing here? Like, oh, I'm sorry, officer, I was really drunk and I realized I had no reason to be driving at all, so I pulled over here, I got out, I climbed into bed, and I was going to sleep her off. It's like, and he might say, you made the right decision, or like, just tell me where you live, I'll just take you home, something like that. Well, I don't know if I trust him.
No, I've had some cool cops. I remember one time, one guy pulled me over, it's like, hey, you know, you kind of made that turn kind of tight. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm on my way to see my wife at the time, my girlfriend, and she back then, and she's sick, and she told me if I don't go over there and and take care of her. I'm going to be in the doghouse. Yeah. Been drinking tonight? Well, I watched the Spurs game. I had a couple beers. So you had a couple? How many? A couple? Where are you going? It's like right down the road. Right down the road, and I'll make it right here at the street. So I go, okay, I'm gonna catch you. Go ahead and get done, get on your way, man. But if I catch you on the street, bro, what's gonna happen. I want to get locked up tonight. Said, yeah, no problem. I'm on my way, and made that turn and didn't go off the rest of the night. Yeah, and some cops are cool like that. The cops are just gonna lay down with you straight.
Yeah. No, I've had some encounters with cops, and honestly, so far, like knock on wood, but they've all been pretty cool actually.
I hate it when a cop's you told like, okay, hold on, hold my beer real quick. Let me give you my ID. Hold on.
Seriously, man, I'm just trying to free my hand so that I can show you what
hold
you're
this real quick and let me get my fucking ID. Why you being a prick, dude?
Look here, Ossifer. I'm sorry for partying, but you're gonna have to hold my beer because I'm sitting it on the ground. It'll fall over.
I saw this thing on TV once. This guy was stopped for he was stopped for something else, but they got to know he was drunk. Say, did you I think you kind of missed that stop sign, and he says, "I'm sorry, officer, I'm very drunk."
The classic one I heard from a buddy of mine who worked with this old man, Mr. Bazaldua. You already call him Mr. B because Bazaldua is too much to pronounce for a lot of people. And he was telling about his son got pulled over in San Antonio. Obviously, it was Laredo at the time. And he got pulled over by this high school. And he gets out of the cop pulls him over. He gets out of the car and he's stumbling like crazy. He barely fucking hold his own weight up. And cop's all, God damn, son. You're so drunk you can barely fucking walk. The fuck do you think I'm driving, asshole? You know what? There will be no sobriety test for you. Get your ass in the back of the car right now. Like you're going to jail, dude.
This what do you call this? I saw the story once. Sometimes there's like these bars on top of a hill. So this guy, the parking lot was overlooking the highway or the freeway, whatever. And then so the guy decides to try to exit by trying to go over the hill. He was stopped by the like the parking curb or something like that. That concrete in front of the parking spot. He was stopped like that, and he was just cranking. He was just pushing on the gas, stepping on the gas, rolling it. And the cop saw him, went over him, and says, "You okay?" And then the guy was like, "How are you walking so fast?" He thought he was already on the road.
Shower in Laredo, man. I got pulled over we were on the way to a special place where the girls are a little too friendly in Mexico back in the day. We were on the way over there, and we got pulled over, and I pulled out of a bag. My buddies are like, "Hey, man, just cut that fucking cop off." What? Hey, so how many you had tonight? Well, a couple. That means about 8. I said, I had 8. That'd be good. We're on our way, across the river to, have a good time. And then I see in my rearview mirror, he's there, but I see Ramirez, one other cop, coming up on the scene, and I see him look at me and say, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. And then, the guy I used to know, that I used to let him hang out in my office when I used to manage a store in the mall. And I'd let him just chill in the back. He used to they were hired to patrol the mall, but I'd let him chill back in my office and just fuck off and talk to his girlfriends or whatever. And they call him Psycho because he had a real weird mannerism about him. And then he's, hey Sarge, what's up, Sarge? Hey, come to Sarge. Hey, no, this guy's been drinking. No, Sarge, this guy's a good guy. I know him. He's a good guy. And then he's like, are you sure? No, Sarge. Go ahead and just chill out, Sarge. I'll take care of this. I'll straighten this guy out. Trust me, I'll never do it again, Sarge. I'll take care of him. So fucking Sergeant leaves the scene, and I go to him. Get on that puto. What's up? Shoot the shit. Get on that way. And he's like, damn, man, that's a close one, man. Yeah, man, you get us close, man. But so what's up? Yeah, we're going, we're gonna head out tonight. We're going to the zone. Are you going to the zone? All right. Yeah, we're going to the zone. So the whorehouse across the river. It's like, he's like, so like, all right. And like, you patrol tonight? Yeah, I'll be patrolling these 2 streets. And I was like, all right, well, hey, don't pull me over, fucker. And I come back, it's really fucked up later. Don't pull me over. and yeah, it was like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning coming back. That was like at 11 in the evening, like 5 in the morning coming back. And I was like, yeah. It's coming on this street, dude. I won't pull you over. I see you. I know you're cool. I was like, all right.
That's a trap.
We're good.
Trap. Probably
Get
a
the
trap.
hookup.
Oh yeah, I mean that was it. They call the guy psycho because one time, he could never stand in one place at one time. He's always walking. Those people was pacing. 2, because there is an accident once on I-35 where I-35 going to Laredo has a bunch of overpasses. And back in the day, they used to have before they opened up the other bridges, they used to have all these trailers backed up for 3 to 4 miles as they approached the checkpoint or the bridge on crossing over. So this one Mustang one time was having fun fucking racing, and he didn't see the trailer over the incline. So as he fucking raced hard, he ended up putting himself under it, and both of the people got decapitated. And it was a mess of them in the back seat, and that dude was like playing with their brains, so he got that name Psycho. The cop, he was having fun with the brain matter in the back seat.
All right. So speaking of decapitated, did you guys hear about what happened in Stillwater, Oklahoma this week? Or I guess it's last week.
No.
There was a guy who, like, literally murdered and decapitated his roommate with a machete. And it wasn't even like ISIS related or any of that. He was just like into like black magic and like sacrifice shit. The story I read was this guy and his roommate and the first guy's brother were in the 2 guys' apartment. And it's like he just pulls out this big ass fucking like machete or like sword or something. And his brother's like, hey man, be careful with that. He's like, oh, the world will never hurt you, bro. So he like turns around to go back to do whatever he's doing, and hears a noise, and he turns around, and he's just killed his roommate. Like literally stabbed him in the chest for no fucking reason. And then like proceeds to try and cut the guy's damn head off. And then he calls the cops and says, hey, I've just murdered somebody. And then they like pick him up like this.
What?
Maybe you watch Sling Blade too much. I
have no idea. This guy
just killed a man. I need you to come down here. I'm pretty sure he's dead. I hit him pretty good on top of the head.
I don't know. All I know is it's the talk of the town right now. Fucking crazy. That's why I carry.
What part of Oklahoma are you from?
I'm from Western Oklahoma. I'm going to school in Stillwater.
I don't know, man. I mean, people are still. I mean, shit with the crap that people watch today and the things. It's hard to find people with solid roots anymore. They just know better. They always had that cop out that it's like, yeah, whatever. You don't understand. I'm like, no, I do. No, you don't understand. You're fucking fucked in the head, and you're a fucking degenerate. That's why this happened. They just try to pawn it off on somebody. I mean, all my failures in life are my own. I don't blame anybody for my shortcomings. And that I've gone through. I chose to do what I did. And so on and so on. And these people are like, oh, it's because my dad was nice to me. My mom didn't take me to go watch this fucking Disney movie. Alright.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I used to drive a Chevy Silverado, a 91. Back in 2005, I was working for this company, and my boss came up there and says, hey, somebody smashed your rear window. It's like, so I went outside. Yeah, and well, it's not a rear window. It's like the cab, like canopy. Somebody smashed the canopy window, and the cops had this guy on the ground, Apparently, he was trying to steal cars in the neighborhood, and he tried to steal mine and couldn't get in. Um, he what do you call this? The cops had him down, and he was crying, like he was saying like, "My dad mistreated me. I was never, I was an abused kid." I was like, really?
Yeah, about to be abused man now when you go to jail. But,
That's being abused
Exactly.
man with a fucking boot in your face.
yeah, but I mean, it's just a different generation now. I mean, or like I mean, my own son, he's 19. I have to fucking get in his fucking epic sometimes. I'm like, I haven't touched you since like 4 years old, but you're just close. You're about to get an ass whooping, just to straighten your ass out. Put the fear of God in you.
You're 4 years old. I'm about to make it happen.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm like, you want it to happen? He's like, no, Dad. And I'm like, okay, then don't make me do it because I want to be the bad guy here. Just fucking get your shit together here. Surprised, man, when you become a father, how hard it is just to guarantee your own son's going to graduate high school sometimes. That's a feat of its own altogether.
Oh, you know how it is, and they don't realize that. This is what when I look back at this, whenever I encounter a teenager or a kid acting up, they say just you know what, or not even acting up, like wanting, like being belligerent about things in life, and says, you know what, you're gonna have kids, and they're gonna do exactly what you're doing, and you're gonna be like me, telling you to straighten your shit, and you're gonna try to straighten that kid out, and you're it's gonna repeat the whole cycle. So you better just act that right now, because it's just gonna be the same thing all over.
Well, luckily my son is shorter than me, and he you can't take me in his wildest dreams, on any given day. But he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that mental capacity to even challenge me. When I was 17, I didn't take my father out, but I let him know that it was never going to happen again, where he's ever going to remember me. And then we had to kind of come to God moment where he's like, okay, yeah, you can whoop my ass, but guess what? You'll be a no-house motherfucker. So you're fucking her, defend yourself again, and you'll be a no-house motherfucker. Just remember that. Father was like that with me. I was like, yeah. I got sick of it. He used to fucking lay it down with me, and then I was like, yeah. Thanks for sending me and teaching me, and all your buddies teaching me all that fucking hand-to-hand combat shit, and type Goshin Jitsu shit that I learned, and now I'm one of the rare, because everybody else I know got their ass beat by their dad every time they bucked up to them. Their dad beat their ass good.
The hell happened?
Almost everybody I know had that story. So like, yeah, I bucked up to the old man one time. Yeah, he beat my ass hard.
No, I never really did that.
Well, you shouldn't have to necessarily, but I mean, I just grew up in that kind of environment. That's what it was, Yeah, and I was I was 17, and it's like, yeah, we got an argument, fucking over fixing the lawnmower, and I kicked the lawnmower. It's like, what are you kicking the lawnmower? It's not gonna kick you back, and I go, well, nobody hits me back. And he's like, oh yeah. Yeah, I'm one of those, and he's like, he took a swing at me, and I fucking locked his arm up, put him on the ground. Yeah, you ain't so tough anymore, old man, are you?
Hey guys, I'll see you guys later. I'll go a bit early.
What, Lucy? What? Hold on, gotta take my dogs out. I think I have no idea.
Well, let's go and close it up tonight.
Just gonna call it quits.
Yeah, about to head out to Iowa, work in the morning, so, man, you have a good one, and everybody in chat, just watching my channels, man, have a good one too, man. Be safe, it's only 3 weeks.